Welcome to the 2023 Big Z Sports High School Football Season Wrap-Up Show, presented by the Caleb Fell Real Estate Team, live from Pointe Dining in New Philadelphia. Tonight, the Big Z Sports Team will talk with area coaches about their 2023 season and look ahead to the 2024 season. Plus, the guys will hand out some end-of-the-season awards. Now, let's head to the Hartzler's Quality Housing Mobile Studio, live from Pointe Dining with Big Z Sports.
Welcome into the 2023 Caleb Phil Real Estate Team Big Z Sports Wrap-Up Show. Joe Geckler, Shannon Thomas here for Big Z Sports. We are live at the Pointe Dining in New Philadelphia for our annual season wrap-up show. Thanks so much for taking the time to join us here and recap the 2023 high school football season. We have 11 high school football coaches on tap for you tonight. We're going to hand out Coach of the Year, Player of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, and Specialist of the Year as well here tonight. A lot of hard work to hand out. We'll talk to some student athletes, and we'll of course talk to 11 area high school football coaches that will join us here tonight. Shannon, the season is over. We were just talking to Coach Lancaster off the air and said, "How's this season go so fast?" He looked at me and goes, "Are you kidding? It's still going on for me."
Yeah, well, and I kind of agree with Coach Knight because to me it doesn't seem like it ever stops. It just seems like football season to me just goes on and on and on. Adam always sends out that text message, "Hey, anybody want to go watch the state finals?" After when I was at the Garaway game, when we were done doing that game, I was like, nope, I'm done.
I'm done. Yep.
I'm going to get ready for basketball season.
For sure. And I actually went up to a couple state title games this year. It was kind of a really neat experience, and kind of finished it off on the Friday night. I saw the last two games on Friday, and it was a great experience. But we're going to talk high school football in our area tonight, and we welcome in Indian Valley head coach Matt Lancaster. Coach, thanks for taking time away from the family, joining us tonight. I know your daughter has a basketball game tonight, so we'll get you in and out pretty quick for you and let you go enjoy family time and see the daughter play basketball. Man, she's pretty good.
Don't blow her up. We tell our kids whenever we give them a compliment, it's probably not politically correct, but we make sure to follow it up with "you're still dog crap."
Okay.
Anytime we'd run into kind of a superstition thing, we'd hype up a kid. It was the best game you ever played. No doubt what happens the next week, worst game you ever played. So we always try to keep kids grounded, so we're trying to keep her grounded at home too.
So I'll ask you this. I know she's not watching because she's getting ready for her game. Is she the best Lancaster kid athlete?
There's no way I'm answering that. No, they're all equal. We love them all the same, and they're all equally athletic.
And I kind of always did that with my kids and nieces and nephews. My wife would always ask me, why you always got to tell them what they did wrong? Well, I said, well, that's what I do. I start out telling them what they did wrong, and then right before I walk away, I'm like, you played a heck of a game, kid.
Yep. You finish with the good stuff.
Got to keep them humble.
That's right.
Well, Coach, another fantastic season out of the Indian Valley Braves, and you guys finished at 10-4. I'm sorry, 9-4. Excuse me, 4-1 in the IVC. You were lost to Steubenville in the regional semifinals. Same team you got beat by last year, just a game earlier, the regional finals last year. But let's talk about your season a little bit. You started off with a couple wins, and then you kind of went loss, win, loss in the first half of the season. Let's talk about that first half real quick.
The first half of our schedule, we've ramped up our schedule over the last couple years to be a lot tougher, especially knowing that the playoff expansion was going to come. And so, it's a tough schedule when you go against the Dover and against the St. Clairsville, and then when we get into our conference, that's tough every night too. So, first half of the schedule, we got through it 3-2 to start off the season. So. If we came out 500, we felt like we were going to be battle tested and ready to go. Obviously, we'd like to pick up one, if not both of those games. Sure. But it was a good non-conference schedule, and we're continuing to work on solidifying that non-conference schedule because we feel like that schedule at the beginning of the season has really paid dividends at the end of the season in the playoffs the last 2 years. Going in as a 13 seed. In our region and being able to make some noise, I think that's a testament to not only our kids, obviously, but our schedule as well, that they were battle tested.
If you look at that schedule first half, you played some big names in that first half of the schedule. How does that prepare you for that gauntlet of the IVC South? You ran into Sandy Valley, Garaway, Ridgewood, Tusky Valley had a great year, Claymont, the rivalry game. How does that prepare you for that gauntlet at the conference schedule?
It's big, and I was nervous a couple years ago when we started to do this, and I know Coach Ift is a big believer in scheduling. that way, and you're a little timid going into it because everybody wants to be 10-0.
Sure.
But it's getting to realize what our team is made of early in the season rather than in the past, maybe not until we get to a Garaway or get to a Ridgewood or get to a Sandy Valley or get to one of those big teams in our conference, and then we find out all the things that need fixed, and it's too late, you know. And then we're trying to fix them, going into the playoffs. So learning what your team is made of earlier in the season, I think is pretty important, especially if you want to make some noise down the road in your league and in the playoffs.
Coach, coming into this year, everybody knew about the skill positions you had coming back. You was pretty well loaded, probably one of your better years coming back into skill positions. Mm-hmm. The question was going to be that offensive line. And, boy, they were challenged right out of the gate up at Ellett. I mean, Ellett come in there with some very big kids, and the offensive line started that game out. They played well. And then you had to run into a Dover defensive line. You had to run into a Garaway defensive line. The St. Clairsville line was one of the biggest lines that I've seen played all year. And I think that offensive line might have struggled at times throughout the year, but, boy, it prepared them when it came time for that run in the playoffs.
You know, they really did. That was the biggest question mark on this team coming in. Everybody knew we had good skill at all the positions. It's probably the most skilled we've been. But the big question mark was that offensive line. I mean, we weren't big last year up front, but the offensive line were veteran kids, and they were all varsity kids who had varsity experience, and they were quick, and so we were able to use their athleticism. This year coming in, big question mark, and they really stepped up to the plate. We were really pleased with how our offensive line did, especially outmatched. You know, you mentioned that Ellett team. I mean, we had Hunter Peterman in his first ever varsity start at center, and he's got a Division I 335-pound nose guard over top of him.
And Hunter probably weighs 165 with his equipment on.
Maybe 170. And he held his own, and he got better throughout the year. All those guys up front did. You know, David Stryker and Hayden Wrench and Brogan O'Connor. He's 165 pounds dripping wet as a sophomore. We didn't expect him to come in and compete for a starting spot. So for him to do that, and then we finished up the year with a freshman playing guard in Brogan Wilson. You know, so we had a lot of young guys, and the way they gelled and the way they came together is really a testament to their belief in the system and their work ethic. And Coach Peterman did a great job. I think he's a great O-line coach. He's a great coach in general, but he did a good job getting that group ready to go this year, and especially as outsized as they were, and to be able to do what we did.
Coach, if you look at the IVC schedule, you start off with Sandy Valley. We know what type of offense they had. They were a really good, powerful team. You held them to 6 points. You run into Garaway the following week, and then run off a great string of wins there after the Garaway game. You had Ridgewood, you had Tusky Valley, you had Claymont, and then the playoffs. What did you learn about your team after that Garaway loss to help you get ready for that run that you had?
Well, it's something we were learning in the big games, up to that point too. We just kept reiterating that, in the Garaway game, going against a great team like they are, that mistakes are max. I mean, they're magnified.
Sure.
They're magnified.
Oh, yeah.
And really, in that game, we made 2 alignment mistakes and 2 technique mistakes on defense. That was the difference, and the good team took advantage of them, and they took advantage of them, and those were big plays. 4th down touchdown and a missed assignment in the coverage, and that's the difference in the game. Same thing in the Dover game. We gave up 2 4th down touchdowns in that game, and they were mistakes. They were missed assignments, and they make you pay. Good teams make you pay. So we continued to learn from that, and limit those mistakes once we got to the playoffs. But I really felt the Sandy Valley game was a very important turning point for us because I felt like we found our identity in that game offensively, especially this year, because we're a little bit different this year offensively than we've been in the past. So developing our identity and believing in that, defense just got after it that game. So obviously dropping the 1 to Garaway, we didn't want to, but they're a good team. They're well coached. Their defense the last couple years has just been tremendous. But finish out the season strong was important, and then going into the playoffs, we had high hopes even as a 13 seed.
Coach, and one thing that's always been at the top level at Indian Valley is your physicality. Your defense just plays so well and gets to the ball, and it just seemed like from the second half of the season all the way through the playoffs, I mean, they all just seemed like they couldn't do really anything wrong. I mean, Tanya McComb and KT both went on a roll and ended up with 8 interceptions this year. I mean, in the playoffs, they were ball hawks everywhere. Your linebackers, I mean, that defense is just very stout when it's time to play.
Yeah, which, by the way, both of them were season records, in a season, 8. And to have 2 of those guys do that in the same year, that's they're great defensive backs. And KT had a tremendous career, obviously. But our defense, prides itself on playing hard, how hard they play. And our entire program is built around effort. And, you're going to make mistakes, but make them going as hard as you stinking can. And our kids really believe in that. And the other one you said is physicality. We didn't have a kid playing defense that was over 200 pounds. Jackson Bircher was the heaviest at 195. And to match up against the physicality of teams like Steubenville and Bishop Reedy, it's one of the best O-lines and running backs in the state, in Dover. To match up with those guys, that's a testament to our kids' belief in playing hard and not backing down and being physical. And we train that way, and our kids believe in that. We don't have physical practices anymore. We don't need to because our kids they're tough. It's something that's in them.
Yeah, Coach, and one of the ones to go back, just to go to that one playoff game, because you said it, Bishop Reedy, and Kentrell Reinhardt is one of the top recruits on the East Coast right now. I mean, I think he had 11 D1 visits going in, or offers going into that game, and he was going to Michigan the next day for a game day visit. And I talked to some of your players because we got down there early like Yins did, and they were talking about him, and I just kind of said, hey, make it kind of tough on him to have to go the next day and say, hey, when they say, how'd you play last night? We lost. But when that game started, he come out that first drive, I mean, everybody got to see the hype and how good he was. But, boy, that second drive, that defense, I mean, they started getting to him. They started hitting him. And nothing against that young man. He had a fine junior season. But Indian Valley kind of changed the way he ran the football in that game.
Yeah, we pride ourselves on no one person is going to beat us.
Sure.
It might happen. I mean, it does happen. You get great players, and he was a very good player. With 12 D1 offers, we got 0 D1 kids. But as a team, we physically, at first quarter, I think he had 17 carries.
Yeah.
For 80 yards, and then the rest of the game, we limited it to a total of 135 yards. And I think we wore him down as a group, and our kids weren't going to let him. One guy beat us. So I think that was the only game he did not score a touchdown the entire season. So,
yeah, it was.
our kids heard that all week, and they accepted the challenge all week, knew what challenge was going to be there, and went out and got it done.
Well, Coach, one final time, let's talk about that great senior class that you had, because these kids accomplished a lot in the last 4 years, and let's talk about them and kind of rave on them a little bit one final time that you can, and talk to us about those seniors.
Yeah, these seniors have been a great group, and you hate missing, seeing them go, but they got to go on to the next phase of their life, and
Sure.
They're going to be great young men and great husbands and great employees, great college students. They got all big dreams, and they know what they're made of now. Our captains did a great job of leading a young group this year. Quake was a tremendous leader for us, as well as Colton Thomas, Tanya McComb. The one that doesn't get a lot of talk is Cole Stephen, who tore his ACL before the season even started. Still played on a torn ACL, and as much as he could, he was holding for extra points and getting in at corner when he could. But people don't realize he never missed a single practice. He never missed anything team-wise, and was just a tremendous leader, kept a great attitude, wasn't boo-hoo me, helped the younger guys. And that entire senior group, even though small, it's a small senior group. Sam Carter, did a good job over the last 4 years. Sure. For us, set some records along the way. He was the reason we were able to do what we were offensively this year. Instead of being 3 yards in a cloud of dust like a traditional Indy Valley team, we were able to be a little bit more 50-50. So it's a good group, and we're going to miss them. We know they'll be back, and they're always a part of our family. We love them, and we wish them the best.
Well, you got some dudes coming up. We've seen some of them dudes on the field throughout the season, and I know you're excited for next season already. Any changes that you can talk about with the schedule?
We got St. Clairsville. It was only a 1 year thing, so they're off the schedule next year. We have Buckeye Trail right now in that spot, and we have John Glenn. Dover moves to week 4. John Glenn is going to be week 3. So we got a lot of guys coming back. It's going to be hard to replace guys like Colton and Quake on defense and Sam Carter. But we got some guys, that we think are pretty good, especially number 22, Grady Kinsey, obviously. But building around him, is going to be a key, and replacing those guys on defense is going to be key, and continuing to work and believe.
Well, Coach, thanks, as always, for everything you give for Big Z Sports, the access you allow us to have, and everything you do for those kids at Indian Valley. We appreciate you, and congratulations on another great season. We look forward to seeing you in the fall.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you having me on.
That's Matt Lancaster joining us here on our 2023 season wrap-up show here live at the Pointe Dining. Big thanks to the Caleb Fell real estate team. Take a break, come back. We'll have our next coach after this. You're listening to Big Z Sports with Claxton Communications. Back after this.
The First National Bank of Denison appreciates the hard work and dedication area athletes exhibit to be the best they can be for their team. We follow that same philosophy with our customers, working hard to build personal relationships and making our services convenient. The First National Bank of Denison's community involvement is important to us, and we love supporting our local schools. The First National Bank of Denison, with offices in Denison, Dover, Janate and Hutton, South Broadway, and Schunbrunn in New Philadelphia. We have our roots where others have their branches. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Novelis Uriksville is the world leader in aluminum recycling, and they need you. They have immediate openings for general laborers, equipment operators, and various skilled trade positions. They'll start you at $22 per hour or higher. There are advancement opportunities, and Novelis offers industry-leading benefits. To apply or find out more, go to novelis.com/careers and search Uriksville. That's novelis.com/careers and search Uriksville. Novelis is an equal opportunity employer.
Fell can sell. When you choose the Caleb Fell Real Estate Team, you can count on local expertise, terrific communication, an expert negotiator on your side, and detail-oriented service throughout the process. Real estate does not have to be difficult or stressful. Choose a team that will make the process quick, easy, and professional start to finish. Whether you are ready to buy or ready to sell, make sure you call Caleb Fell with the Caleb Fell Real Estate Team.
Hi, I'm Zach Motice with the Tuscarawas Insurance Agency. For all your auto, home, farm, and business insurance needs, contact our team at the Tuscarawas Insurance Agency or stop in and see us at one of our 3 locations in Sugar Creek, Strasburg, and downtown New Philadelphia, providing excellent service to the Tuscarawas Valley since 1885. Everyone here at the Tuscarawas Insurance Agency would like to wish all area athletes and teams good luck.
Welcome back to the 2023 Caleb Fell Real Estate Team Big Z Sports Wrap-Up Show live from the Pointe Dining in New Philadelphia. Joe Geckler and Chris Kale joining you now on this segment. We're going to welcome in Malvern head coach Matt Churko. And, Coach, you just finished up your 6th season in Malvern, 42-23, 4 playoff appearances, and what a great season you guys had. You finished at 10-2 and 5-0 in the IBC North champs, so congratulations on that. And we're going to start real quick with the first half of your season. You started out 4-0, and then you ran into Sandy Valley, which is a rivalry game for you, a natural rivalry game for you guys. And, talk to us about the first half of that season. You start off with wins at Western Reserve, Conotton Valley, Harrison Central, and at Tusky Valley, which was, three of those games were close. Come down to probably the last possession or so. Talk to us about those games as you headed into the Sandy Valley game.
Yeah, our first half of the schedule was just brutal. We knew it needed to be done. We had to beef up our schedule, and you look back now and look at the type of years that Berlin Center had and Harrison Central, and Tusky Valley was able to make the playoffs and played well against Fort Fry. And Sandy Valley's kind of the outlier there. It was a bad game, and they played really well. But after those first 5, we're like, we still got league play to get through.
Oh, yeah.
But you know what? Those first 5 games were exciting.
Sure.
it was really good football, and I think it definitely helped us out in the second half of the season.
This is my favorite question to ask a coach. And sometimes I get to ask it if we're doing a game, they're coming off of a loss. But coming off that Sandy Valley loss, what did you learn about your team after that loss headed into conference play?
We're not perfect,
Sure.
and we definitely got to get better. But we also knew that we had everything in front of us. And, it was kind of one of those games where you just like, obviously you hate to lose to a rival, but we knew going forward, hey, you know what, let's put it behind us. We got to get after it. Let's go beat Strasburg and take it 1 week at a time now.
Well, and speaking of Strasburg, you started there when you moved to the IVC schedule after the crossover game with Sandy Valley, like you talked about. You go to Strasburg, you get the big win there. Buckeye Trail, you get them at home. You kind of took care of that game early. And then New Cumberstown, that was kind of the one that I know you guys had starred in the second half of the season, even though you don't like to do that. But I know you guys kind of had that marked like, hey, look, this was the game that cost us the IVC last year. Made you guys have to take a long travel in the playoffs because of that loss.
Yeah.
So obviously that's going to be a start. Just talk about those first 3 games, and especially going to New Cumberstown and getting a huge win down there.
Strasburg was a game where it was just kind of let's get back on track here. Let's get back to our fundamentals and do all the right things. We got off to a bit of a slow start, but we ramped it up pretty quickly there before half. And then, the Trail game, we knew even though the Trail was, 1-5, that they had a lot of good football players. And we knew that they always play us well, and so it wasn't going to be easy. And, it was a tight game there for a while, and then we found some things that worked, and, we were able to take care of business there in the second half. And then, New Cumberstown, I thought defensively we just played really, really well. And, offensively we did enough. I didn't think we had a great game offensively, but the way our defense played, and that was kind of a thing that we just kind of thought the year before they hammered us. They were a lot more physical than us, and, that's something that we wanted to really work on. And we kind of knew that, hey, listen, we got to stop the run. If we don't stop the run,
you know what they're going to do.
Then it's going to be a long night.
You know what they're going to do, and it's just a matter of they're going to line up and say, you got to beat us. Well, guess what?
Yeah.
You stopped them, and you got the win.
And there was times where they drove on us, but
Right.
they were never able to just kind of pop one. And that was big for us.
And then to wrap up the IVC schedule, you had TCC at home and then East Canton on the road, both lopsided victories there, which put you into the playoffs as the number 5 seed, Division 7, Region 25, put you in the first round against 8-3 Southern, who was the 12 seed, and you guys knocked them off in a pretty good football game. After the game, it sounded like your team played very well in that first round game.
Yeah, I thought we did because Southern was really the last 6 years. Southern's been a good football program.
Sure.
They lost the year before in the regional semifinals to Warren JFK, and they had a lot of good football players back, and so we knew it wasn't going to be easy. But I thought we played really, really well, and was able to propel us into that next week against Norwalk St. Paul.
Well, Coach, let's talk about your seniors. And you're losing some good ones. You
Yes.
really are. But you have some dudes coming back though too. But you are losing some seniors that really made a difference to your program. Talk about those guys and what they meant to the Hornets.
Our senior class went 34-9. And they won 3 of 4 IVC North titles. They beat our rival East Canton all 4 years. Even with the COVID year, with the shortened year, they probably would have had a couple more wins if we wouldn't have shortened that season. But they meant so much to us and to kind of where we're at now.
Sure.
Dylan Phillips had an outstanding season and career.
Yeah, he did.
You talk guys like Zach Babachek and Kyle Boss or Chance Miller that just meant so much for us up front the last few years. And then you add in guys like Charles Motts and Dante Passio and Manny Walker that they really elevated themselves their senior year. And that's what you kind of need, to be successful. And then Ryan Runyon, he's meant everything for us special team-wise the last
Kicker.
4 years, and that's a huge loss for us. And so those seniors, 8 of them, they all had huge impacts on these, the success we've had.
Coach, speaking of your seniors and what they've done for your team, they leave that legacy for now your junior class, right? Obviously, your quarterback, Jared Witherow, had another outstanding season. Just taking a look at some of his numbers, 1,967 yards, 25 TDs. We talked last year. I kind of picked on him a little bit, especially at our Extra Point show. Hey, you got a little pick happy, right? Yeah. He only threw 4 picks this year.
Yeah.
So very, very efficient when it comes to that.
He was much better, at not forcing throws and things like that. And, he actually – here's how tough of a kid he is. It was, I think, week 3 against Harrison Central. He got tackled pretty good on the sideline, and he pretty much had a separated AC joint in his non-throwing shoulder. Ooh. Well, we didn't know about it. He didn't tell anybody. Until his mom told us week 5. Mom's like, hey, Jared's having – I'm like, well, let's – and so, we tried to limit his running in the second half of the year. He didn't play any defense and things like that. But there was times where he had to run the ball, and he did. And he's a tough kid.
Well, go ahead.
I mean, he did. He had an outstanding junior season.
Yeah, he did. 65% completion percentage, 197 yards a game. He also added, close to 240 on the ground, 6 rushing touchdowns in limited action, 2205 all-purpose yards and 31 touchdowns. He was our Mac and Turf Realty Player of the Week. He had a Hats Off Award. He was named IVC and East District First Team in Division 7. Just a good kid, a hard worker. You're also going to get Drake Hutchinson back, your rock toter. Rodney Smith, what can you say about that kid? He can take the lid off of it at any point in time. He's a possession receiver, but, man, he can go fly and get it. Yeah,
both those guys are going to be very important. I mean, even go back to Jared, obviously next year's next year, but by the time he leaves Malvern, he's probably going to have quite a few career records. And Rodney's even going to have a chance at career receiving yards and things like that. And so, we're really going to rely on those 3 to really get us going early on next year.
Well, Coach, obviously we want to put a lid on 23, but let's talk a little bit about 24 if you want to look ahead a year. And a lot of coaches don't like to do that, but we'll look ahead.
We're going to make you do it.
Anything different schedule-wise next year that we can look for Malvern? Anybody adding anybody, taking anybody away?
Really, the first 4 are going to remain the same.
Okay.
And then week 5, we're going to go play on the hill down in Garraway.
So okay.
That'll be our crossover game. So those first 5 games next year are going to be really tough again because Berlin Center's going to have a good team. Canon's they only lose 3 seniors, so they got a ton coming back. Harrison Central's going to be really good. And then Tusky Valley brings back all their linemen.
Yeah.
And then Garraway's Garraway. So it's right now we got to get stronger.
Steel sharpens steel, right?
We got to get stronger.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, congratulations, man, on a great season, 10-2, 5-0 in the IVC North Championship.
Yep.
You got that to hang on the wall, and we appreciate you and everything you do for us. And I know we've really ramped up your coverage, the last 2 years.
Yep.
And, we came out and did a couple games. I was out there for the Canot Valley game, the Sandy Valley game this year down at Newcomers Town for you guys. I enjoy watching you coach, watching you play, watching your team. They play hard. And we just appreciate everything you do for us and allow us to do for your program.
And you guys do a great job. I mean, there's really nothing like it around in this area. And, we appreciate all the coverage and all the support we get from you guys as well.
And now you get to go have fun with the rest of the coaches. This is, honest to goodness, this is probably one of my favorite nights of the year because I could just sit in the corner and just watch all of our area coaches interact together.
Yeah.
It's so cool. It is so cool.
Well, Coach, hopefully we'll see you at a basketball game here in the next several weeks. I know we have Malvern a lot on the basketball schedule.
We're good,
absolutely.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch Rodney play, man.
That's Coach Matt Churko joining us here for the Malvern Hornets here on our Caleb Fell Real Estate Wrap-Up Show. And we are live at the Pointe Dining in New Philadelphia. Joe Geckler, Chris Kale will be back after this with Big Z Sports.
This is RJ Jacobs from DAC Vitamins and Minerals. Did you know that DAC Vitamins and Minerals has more than 40 proven equine supplements that include daily multivitamins, joint, digestion, reproduction and fertility, calming, and many other specialty products, DAC also carries a complete line of livestock products called DAC Show Contender. Feed DAC vitamins and minerals to get the competitive edge in the show pen. We've been feeding champions since 1983.
TMK Valley Propane is embracing remote tank monitors. Are you tired of going outside to check your propane tank or forget to order your propane on time? TMK Valley Propane now provides reliable remote tank monitoring technology. Let TMK Valley Propane take the worry away, provide timely delivery, and never run out of propane again. Thank you for your trust in TMK Valley Propane.
All the way with TMK, service with a personal touch.
This is Jordan Hartzler. At Hartzler's Quality Housing, our goal is to help customers achieve the dream of home ownership. We have been a family-owned, affordable housing business for over 40 years. We value our customers and have the knowledge and experience to help you walk through the home buying process from start to finish.
Conveniently located just off I-77 in New Philadelphia, stop by and browse their model homes or learn more by visiting Hartzlers.com. Wood Electric has been trusted with all of your electrical needs for over 30 years. They are the place to call for residential, commercial, and industrial work. Wood Electric is available 24 hours a day and ready to help with any electrical problem, outage, or installation. Wood Electric, serving Tuscarawas County and beyond since 1988. Like Wood Electric on Facebook or find them online at woodelectric.net.
Welcome back to the Pointe Dining in New Philadelphia, our 2023 Big Z Sports Wrap-Up Show. Thanks to the Caleb Fell Real Estate Team, Joe Geckler, Chris Kale, and we are now joined by TCC head coach Casey Cummings. Hey, Coach, this is the first time I've gotten to see you all year. I didn't see you in our two-a-days.
I was ducking you guys.
You were. You didn't want to talk to us this year, did you?
He sure didn't want to talk to me.
Well, he doesn't like you. I don't even know why you're even still here with this interview. So just don't ask him about Jordan Sheridan.
We're not asking
He's
him.
not coming back, Chris. He's not here. So
I'm not getting yelled at the 50-yard line at TCC ever again. I'm not doing it.
Well, the last time I went out there, it poured down rain right in the middle of our interview. You remember that? We were like running under cover for the
we was talking about COVID.
We were, yep.
Yes,
we were. So, Coach, obviously, man, not the year you wanted. It was a good. It was a fun interview. Off the record, off the air, I think it was even better. But we won't go to that one. But not the year you wanted, man. 0-10, 0-5, and just tough out of the box, really.
It was just survival for us.
Sure.
We went into this thing and we weren't real sure, that we'd be able to finish the season out. So we'd go from week to week and different set of goals, different set of foundational aspects that we were chasing. And I had 5 or 6 pretty good seniors that kind of took the bill on us, but
sure.
It was we completed it.
Sure.
Well, Coach, bottom line is we're not going to sit here and talk about X's and O's and wins and losses with you guys. I want to talk about the bigger things, the things that matter more than the wins and losses, and that was you teaching kids that have never played this football game before in their life, teaching them how to play, the fundamentals, teaching them how to grow up and be men, and then watch them grow throughout the season, right?
Yeah, watching the switches click because, a lot of these guys never played, and now they're in front of these crowds trying to catch guys. Like we're out of Connaught in week 1. I got guys that never tackled anybody in their lives, what I'm saying? And they're out there trying to catch those guys in the open field. And then you did. You seen the courage. And I told you earlier, I said you see the courage button get pushed every week, a little more, and they got to the point where they were completely spooked.
Sure.
To really enjoying it. I mean, they get in tears at the end of the year. A lot of those guys, and guys like Nathan Pugh and Garrett Swallow. It's good. That's good stuff. I mean, I'm just standing around there like, this is pretty good stuff right here.
So, despite the wins and losses, it was a fun season because of those things in the relationships you made with the kids, correct?
Oh yeah. It's a close net. You ain't got many kids, so I mean, you get real close net. For some days, practice days, you'd have 9, 10, 11 guys there. I mean, it's just kind of where it was. You might be dressing 14. Our MVP should have been Scott Kaiser, Combat, our trainer. We know on Monday if where we're going to be able to make it to Friday.
Sure.
And,
Combat does a good job for you guys.
We did it. Yeah.
Well, Coach, obviously, in your 12th season with TCC, as a year like you had this year, do you find this year rewarding, and you find out a lot about yourself as a person, as a coach, and as a mentor to these kids? What'd you learn about yourself first and foremost with this season like this?
I knew that I couldn't run out of it. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't run out of this situation. It got bleak as it kept going, and when Gavin left and went to Claymont, I told Gavin in the off season, I said, look, you might want to get down there in the summer and go. You're going to need to learn their system, because I can't tell you 100% we're going to have a team. I was worried about him not having a team, week 3, because he was a factory, and football factory. And but for me, I mean, it's sustainability. We had some kids that still, that had some issues and working through them and breaking through them, and but yeah, it was all resolved, man. It was all resolved. It was good stuff, and there was no pressure, obviously. We still had a couple chirpers up there.
No way, did you?
I'm like, where are you kidding?
Well, and that's it, right? You sit back and it's still good to get chirpers. You know what I mean? One was probably your son.
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't chirping?
I think he threw the towel in. But he couldn't get back from Columbus as often.
No, I get it. Please tell him we said hello too, and your daughter too. She's doing great things too.
Yeah.
And but when you look at this, kind of to piggyback off what Joe said, you come into the season and you're worried about even having a team.
Right.
We heard the rumors going around. I think it's stand up of you and your staff to tell one of your seniors and one of the better players in the area to say, hey, look, you probably need to do this, because we don't know. And I would hate to see you lose your senior season. Hindsight, if you had him, would have made a big difference on your football team.
We still wanted him back. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
absolutely.
We were still like, I'm like, what? Because look,
I know.
I'm a guy that if I got a kid that'll text me, say, hey, I want to get some work in, he's a receiver, I still throw the ball up and down the field. I'll still sling it. You know, so I'll get a center in there. I'll try to get a running back in there just to run some offense. You can do the seven guy stuff, and it's a coaching. You ain't got so
right.
I said, Gavin, man, you had me in there like 20 times, calling me at work on Fridays. I'm up in some, delivering some bar, and I said, yeah, I'll be there at 3 o'clock.
Oh yeah.
But he still, he was at Marietta this past weekend on a recruiting visit, and Tingle's down there.
Yeah.
And he wanted a highlight of his sack when he was a freshman.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh
yeah.
Yep.
I got it to him late. But
and I just think that bottom line is that that speaks volumes to me, is when you can sit there and you can look and go, hey, our numbers aren't going to be great next year. You're sitting here in the fall going, man, I don't know what our numbers are going to be next year. Don't know what things are going to happen in the spring. It's easy for a coach to say, you know what, I'm good.
Yeah.
But you stuck with it and helped the school and helped the kids, and just like we knew you would, and I think that's commendable for you and your staff. I really do.
The staff was, Dean Green and Coach Renniker. Those guys were solid. They were there every night. They never complained. Never, you still prepare every week like you're going to win. I mean,
absolutely.
8 minutes in, you ain't, but at the same time, you prepare every nothing changes, And, like my chief scout is my only scout is Scott Young. You had a great guy, great coach, and he's out there playing wide receiver out there on practice night, on scout team night. I got these grown men in the 60s out there running around, Where else? Where else could you pull that off?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely, you can.
Yeah.
And so I do have a question. Some of the kids that ended up coming out for the first time, will there be returners next year, do you think?
Well, most of those guys were seniors.
Were they? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we had a pretty good senior class. I mean, at one time, you remember Zach Bussey.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. You remember Gavin,
Yep.
and you remember Zach Rothrock.
Yep.
Those were all starters at Toronto in the playoffs whenever their freshman year.
Okay.
So, then we added Sedlock. And we added Carson Norris. We added Zane Norris.
Yep.
And then we still had Casey Green and Kenton Renniker. So that could have been a pretty darn good course.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely.
The numbers behind them ain't there. I mean, we got 2 sophomores that's going to be juniors, and we got 4 juniors that's going to be seniors. So it's going to be a push. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Now we do have a pretty good junior high team. There's a kid down there by the name of Barr he's going to be sensational. You know,
Sure.
and these 4 or 5 kids coming up from down there. You know, but we really do need an influx. We need an influx of kids that pull in there.
When you got Flynn will be back,
Flynn,
right?
Yeah. Okay, I had 5 freshmen, but 3 of them. Flynn Reniker was my quarterback at the end of the year.
Right.
And Anthony Conrad Bolin was my tailback, you know, freshman. And who was the other one? Oh, Grady Stein. Grady Stein came in from Philly like week 2. And he ain't big, playing middle linebacker at about 120 pounds, but I'm telling you, the kid was, you know, he's a good freaking player.
Sure.
He's really good. So.
And you'll bring Dylan back as well, too, right? That'll be one of the juniors, right?
Yeah, he'll be a junior next year.
He'll be a junior,
yep.
right.
Yep.
So, I mean, you know, it's good to return some of those skill kids. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And, you know, if you had a quarterback, Dylan would be a really, really good wide receiver, but he's kind of bouncing back and forth at the quarterback position with Flynn. You know, we got Colton Whitaker in from Sandy Valley, and by the end of the season, his second half of the season, I think he led in tackles. You know, so I mean, it's you know, Warren Tenner. You know, there's still guys there.
Sure.
You know. But,
well, looking at the schedule for next year in 2024, any changes on the schedule?
I think Connaughton's 1, Fisher's 2. Lowell's 3.
Okay.
Wyndham's 4.
Okay.
And
obviously week 5
is Sandy, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Up there at home.
That's usually on the road.
Okay.
I think it's on the road.
Okay.
Yeah.
So schedule essentially stays the same except for the week 5 game.
Ridgewood Sandy.
Yeah.
Christmas.
So obviously, Coach, like I said, like we said, the year didn't go as you wanted, and it was in limbo from the beginning with you know the rumors in the summer with possibly not having a program because of lack of numbers. But you know, you get those kids going, and you learned a lot about the kids that you do have coming back, and you as a coach as well. So you got to take something
the courage,
away from
man. I mean, it's easy to play on a team with 50-some guys, and your responsibility is this. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
This is nothing but fighting off your back, being moved from position. But like Conrad Bolin, you know, he had played DB, he played linebacker, he played D-line, he played running back, he played H-back. You know, I mean, he freshman. You know what I'm saying? Trying to figure all this out, and you know, it's something. Well, it really is something to see, you know. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
Well, we do appreciate you sending stats, you know, even though it was hard to have some, and you know, you guys were hard. It was just like Strasburg. You know, Coach Mo told me, I don't have a stat guy.
Yeah.
I'll get them to you when I can, if I get any. I appreciate, you know, you guys sending what you could. I appreciate you always being willing to talk and those sort of things. You know, we don't want to bug you when you're trying to do what you're doing. You know what I mean? And so we appreciate
some
it.
Saturday games and then some road games. So, I mean, obviously you guys was kind. Very kind, you know.
Well,
I think you called once. I don't think I answered, you know.
I think we did call once, and I don't think you answered.
I was on the bus coming back, and I
He's
thought,
like,
let this one fly.
Yeah. But that's why, right? Yeah. That's why we don't do that, right? And
because he knew he had to talk to you.
Well, probably. But I'll tell you what, though.
Still some time.
On a couple of those Saturday games that you have, we'd love to have you come in and maybe spend a half hour, an hour in when we're breaking down games and stuff, and just come in as a guest and talk to us. Yeah, I know you did. I remember.
Several years I was in there all the time on Friday.
So if you want to come in next year on some Saturdays, you know, after you get off work, when you have a Saturday game, we'd love to have you, Coach.
Gotcha, man. Gotcha.
Awesome. Well, Coach, thanks so much, brother.
Thanks,
appreciate
Good seeing you.
Yeah.
Good luck with the rest of it.
Thank you.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
Merry Christmas, all right, to you and your family, brother.
That's head coach Casey Cummings joining us here from the TCC Saints as our guest here on our Caleb Fell real estate team. Big Z Sports wrap-up show. He's gone. He's like, I'm not even waiting for you to wrap up because you take forever. But we are here live at the Point. Joe Geckler and Chris Kale going to take a break, come back, and have another coach ready for you. Maybe if they're not talking too much. But that's after this with Big Z Sports.
In the rolling hills of Holmes County, we tend to do things a bit differently. At Kime, we're in the business of uncommon experiences, and we're here to care for your project like we care for our own. We believe that quality matters and want to help you get it right the first time, because your project deserves it. So visit Kime Home Center, your source and destination for all things home, building, and woodworking. Kime, built on trust since 1911.
This is Carly Mills. At First Federal Community Bank, our mission is to empower the financial well-being of our community one person at a time. Through integrity and quality, we earn the trust of our customers and exceed their expectations. First Federal Community Bank, investing in our community since 1898. Serving your banking needs in Dover, New Philadelphia, Yorksville, Sugar Creek, Berlin, and Mount Hope. First Federal Community Bank, member FDIC.
Is your vehicle banged up? Do you want fast, professional service to get you back on the road? This is Garrett Jacobs with AutoWorks Collision Center. We service cars, trucks, SUVs, and even semi-trucks and RVs. Whether you need auto glass replacement, paintless dent repair, assistance with warranty and insurance, or just a free estimate, AutoWorks has you covered. We even offer alignments for your heavy-duty vehicles like buses, motorhomes, and semis with our state-of-the-art Hunter alignment system. Call 330-878-4223. Open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. Let AutoWorks of Strasburg work for you.
The certified public accountants at Niedenthal & Company believe in the value of relationships. Niedenthal & Company has been in business for over 50 years in your community, helping individuals and businesses grow. Niedenthal & Company can help manage and prepare your payroll, plan your estate, and prepare your business and personal income taxes. Stop into the Niedenthal facility on North Worcester Avenue in Dover and become a valued client today.
Dr. Nathan Springer is in the business of making smiles, specializing in braces and Invisalign for children and adults. Dr. Springer provides smiles that can be recognized anywhere. Just look at the winning smile on some of the players. Compliments of Dr. Nathan Springer Orthodontics. Hey, that smile of pride on the face of mom and dad might be from Dr. Springer too. Dr. Nathan Springer Orthodontics, in the business of making smiles, at 107 Ray Avenue Northeast in New Philadelphia.
Planning your next vacation or home improvement project and worried about managing expenses? CSB can help with that. Setting a goal is the first step to achieving your vision, and CSB's Money Manager tool helps you get started. Whether you are recovering from Christmas spending or preparing to send kids to college, the Personal Financial Management tool helps you set goals, track your spending, and monitor your progress. Money Manager is available
tonight and all season long, of course, as our Big Z Sports Extra Point as well on Wednesdays during the season, and he gladly sponsors our wrap-up show here at the Point each year as well. We're going to welcome in another coach. I'm Joe Geckler along with Chris Kale. We're going to welcome in Fairless Falcons head coach AJ Sarbaugh. And coach, you just finished up season number 6. And hard to believe, we were just talking off the air, the season moves so stinking fast. How fast have those 6 years went for you?
It's pretty crazy when you look back at it. I mean, like these seniors that just graduated were 7th graders when I got the job.
Wow.
And I mean, it's hard to believe, like you said. I mean, it's now the kids that are going to be seniors were in youth, and I can't believe it's been 6 years. It's crazy.
Well, Coach, your 6th year started off on a Thursday night against Sandy Valley up at home. We had that game.
That game sucked. That was the longest night of my life. I'm just going to throw that.
It was a
I was coming off heart surgery, Coach, and I'm sitting there in a delay like
it was a really good football game until the storm came in after halftime and kind of pushed us along. But you know what? What a good football game, and I think it was just, if you could go back and look at it, you would say that was kind of the tail of your season, right?
100%.
You had a couple injuries and
like everybody said, like Peter Killey got hurt.
Yep.
Like we should have scored before halftime. We're on the 3-yard line, and we had a couple mistakes by some guys, and then we come out, we get the stop, and like a lot of people said, we had momentum, and then lightning comes, and then Sandy Valley makes a great play, and we're on the 20-yard line with 4 minutes to go, and I'm thinking, we're going to punch this thing in and win the first one for these young guys, and then we get a holding penalty, and we don't, that was, we were just in every game. That was, like you said, that was the synopsis of the season. It's
it really
weird,
was.
But it's true.
You guys just injury-riddled all season. I mean, you just really were. And, Carson Colucci, Gio Moore, some of those guys just had really good season. Hunter Lonzer, who was one of our defensive player of the year candidates. Just a great season out of some of those kids. And, talk about some of your seniors.
Yeah, I love this senior class. I've told a lot of people they're great kids in the classroom and on the field. They've never missed workouts. A lot of them are 3-sport athletes. Carson Colucci, Gio Moore, Andy Gill, Allen Harrison, they're all playing basketball right now. They'll all run track. Xavier Collier will do track with them. Dom Mars wrestling. Hunter Henry, Hunter Lancer. I'm sure I'm missing a couple because Brent Hrinko came out and kicked for us this year, plays soccer, plays baseball. So they're just all good kids. They're good academically. We had Bryce Hughes come out who was in the band. We had really good kids that worked really hard. Their leadership was outstanding, and I think that's why, we were 2-6 at one point, and we took South to the wire. Then we won the last two and played South Range really well, and I think that's a credit to those seniors because they didn't pout. They weren't negative. I mean, when you're losing those games by a touchdown week in and week out, at some point with 18-year-olds, they're going to break or they're going to say, what's the point? And we never really had a bad practice this year. Like, it was fun to be around them, and I really just appreciate them and their work effort that they put in throughout the year.
We'll get to that South game in a minute. I'll just say the one that got away.
Well, it happens.
I know. Oh, man, we were pulling for you guys in this.
I think everybody was.
I know. Just because, and it's nothing against head coach Matt Dennison and his kids. It's just, you're the team that we're covering, and we were really pushing for you guys to get the hump.
We were up 21-14. I know. And Pucci scores right before. It was unbelievable high school football game. Like, there were so many people that went, and you lose 41-35, and it was a great game. And that's how it's been the past 2 years with them. So.
Well, Coach, obviously, if you're looking at your schedule, like you said, 29-22 a loss. Your biggest loss on the season, really, I mean, you lost by 23 to CVCA, but you lost 45-14 to Tusky Valley. Your other games, your other losses were close.
I know. We lost
one scores.
Northwest was 42-35.
Yeah.
And we were inside the 10 to tie it up 14, and we didn't. So then we were playing catch-up, and we actually tied it with 8 minutes to go, and then they scored. And then we got down to the 20-yard line, and we threw a ball that just went through Gio's hands, and we were going to go for 2. The next week, Orville, we lose by 10, and that game's kind of deceiving. We were up 14-0.
Yeah.
And then we're down 3 with 3 minutes to go, and we're on Orville's 30 thinking we're going to send it to overtime or win. And we had a miscommunication, throw a pick 6, and then you lose by 10. CVCA is 23-0, but it was 7-0 at halftime. Like, we were their closest game in the league besides South, who they lost to.
Yeah.
And then you talked about South, so it was just – and the Sandy Valley game, you lose by 7. So Sandy Valley game was our season in a nutshell.
Yeah, it was, Coach. It was. And I, and you feel bad for your seniors, but they fought their hearts out, man. Colucci's just what an athlete. We've been talking about him for 3-4 years, even before we started picking up Fairless, and it just
which was
just a
last
good
year,
kid.
by the way.
Right, that's what I mean. It's just such a good kid.
That's what at the state finals, Joe kind of caught me off guard because I usually feel like I'm prepared for questions or know how to answer things because I've just been around for so long, as young as I am. And Joe was like, "Are you ready to start next season?" And I didn't know how to look at him because we started the weight room Monday.
Right.
But I love these seniors, and I'm working on helping them get to college, and we haven't had our banquet yet.
Right.
So this season, even though we haven't played, in my mind, it's not
over
finished
yet.
yet. So we're working on next year, but I'm still helping these seniors.
Right.
So it's a weird limbo state. So I didn't really know how to answer it because I'm not ready for 2024 yet because those seniors are still my kids and I'm not done with them yet, if that makes sense. So
absolutely.
It's kind of in that limbo stage.
If I ask dumb questions, Coach, just tell me.
It was a great question. I just was like,
it's all right.
That's okay.
I'm kind of
we do it.
Finishing 2023 and getting ready for 2024, I guess.
There's a couple years ago in a preview show, I asked Coach John Slusser a question that got a lot of holy cow, I cannot believe he does. And I asked him, I said, Coach, every game you go into, you're favored. And I asked him, I said, how do you take that? How do you do that? And these guys looked at me like, why are you asking them that question? I mean, because that's when Ridgewood was when they went to regional championship.
Peak, yeah.
And I'm like, I felt like, gosh, what did I do? I didn't ask him why his dog died. I asked him, how's he feel about, coach, But anyway, when you ask questions like that, and you blank stared at me for a minute.
I did.
And it's okay because I'm like, maybe I didn't ask that right. But no, I get what you're saying. But you don't want the season to end. And you don't want these kids that, like you said, no banquets happened. And there's several teams that haven't had a banquet yet. And it's hard to get these seniors and to let them move on and not focus on them anymore.
Exactly.
In one of those seniors that you that we were talking about, one of our Defensive Player of the Year candidates, like you had mentioned, Hunter Lancer, and senior linebacker. He led you guys in tackles with 136, 97 of those solo tackles. He had 12 for a loss, 2 sacks. 2 passes defensed, 2 forced fumbles, 3 recoveries, first team pack. Just an incredible season by him. Talk about him and what he did to your defensive side that was so strong.
I think Hunter Lancer is just a really cool story, and obviously you guys started covering us last year. So last year we had those 13 seniors, and 4 of them were 4-year letter winners, and 9 of them were 3-year letter winners. So they'd played forever. So this group of seniors I had really waited their turn. Hunter was a special teams guy last year. He was on kickoff.
Wow.
He had a tackle on every kickoff, but he's a kid that played JV as a junior and worked his butt off in the weight room, never complained, didn't quit, played scout team, and then I think that's the reward as a coach when you see a kid like that has waited his turn and goes out and has the year that he had, because he was behind guys, and he's actually 17. That's how he could be yes, he turned 17 week 5. And then his mom's like, "Can we hold him back?" And we're like, "No, it's too late now."
It's too late. He should have done that in kindergarten.
He's a small senior that got everything out of his body and worked really hard, and then we're like, "Man, we could have had him for another year." It took a while to get him on the field, and then you're like, "Well, heck, he was 14.
He's young. He can still be a junior. Oh, yeah.
Yes. He could be a junior. Yeah. So I'm really proud of him, and great teammate, great kid, did everything the right way, and to see his hard work pay off, that's why you coach.
Sure. And looking at the schedule for 2024, I know you don't want to talk about 2024, but I'll ask you, anything changing on your schedule?
No,
everything's the same.
Opponents are the same, but home and away flip.
Gotcha.
Right.
Okay. So Thursday night with Sandy?
Yep.
Sandy? Okay.
Yep.
So I would imagine we'll be there. I'm not going to go out on a limb and say that, but I'm sure we'll be there.
I would give it a
9.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I was going to say 99.5 out of 100. Yeah.
99.9%. How about that?
There you go. 99. I like that.
So everything stays the same, and of course you're losing some of those good kids.
But look at what they're bringing back.
I know. An idea of who's going to be the signal caller next year, or do you don't want to reveal that yet?
No, Mikey Ritterbeck was our freshman quarterback. Okay. He played JV. He actually, like you talked about injuries, he started at week safety, week 8 against Canton South, so he played a lot. And we've got a lot of guys back, but we have to replace Carson Colucci, Xavier Collier, Hunter Lancer, Gio Moore. So numbers-wise, we got a lot of guys back, but we have to replace a lot of production as well.
Well, you do, and obviously keeping Peter healthy is going to be a big one. You've got McVicker back, you've got Cam Carl back, you've got Anthony Stutler back, who was another one that was just hurt. Injured, right? Yes. So you have a lot of key pieces that are returning, which is a good thing.
Yeah, we have, like you said, Anthony Stutler was our wideout going into the year. You would have seen him against Sandy Valley, and then Peter goes down, so we moved him to running back, and then he actually had 140 yards. He was one of your hard hat guys against Triway when we won, and then he hurt his knee against Triway. So we're down to our third-string guy, Troy, who did a great job coming in. But you've got Cam Carl back, Troy McVicker back. Zach Gilkerson ended up playing both ways this year. And we've got 4 out of 5 linemen back, and we had a 5th kid. We lost Xavier Collier. He played the whole playoff game against South Range. So we've got 5 linemen back that started, at least a game. So there's a lot of experience back on both sides, but we got some key players we have to replace.
I just want to give a shout-out, though. I got to give a shout-out to my boy because I watched him all year long waiting for the numbers. Gio, I was looking for his numbers every week. What a monster. Playing tight end for you, playing defense for you. One of my favorite players this year to watch play and just how hard he worked on both sides of the football. Gio, man, we're going to miss you next year.
Gio's another kid that's a great story, and he's now getting some college looks.
Good.
But Gio played as a freshman. His last JV game as a freshman had 18 catches and 15 tackles.
Wow.
Then he didn't play as a sophomore because he wanted to focus on basketball.
Really?
Came out as a junior week 5 because, like I said, all those guys play 3 sports together. And then this year we played him at H-back. We played him at tight end on the ball. We'd split him in trips and quads and single him up because he's that big body. I mean, there wasn't anything we didn't do with him. And he's so smart, and he was physical. We'd pull him on counter. And, this was my dad's 39th year coaching, and he had Gio. He coaches the running backs, fullbacks. And Gio would screw up and come back and say, "I'm sorry, senior. I'm sorry." He's senior, I'm junior. That's just easiest for the kids. And he's such a nice kid. No one apologizes when they screw up.
I know.
And he, feels bad. And like you said, one of the hardest workers I've had. So once to see him have the success and the year that he had 64 catches. He was first team all county in Stark County for all divisions, which is a big deal.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah. Ended up being all Ohio. So really happy for him.
Yeah, me too. And we finally, your voice cracked a little bit, and it reminded me that almost every week we wouldn't even be able to talk to this guy.
I heard him. I heard him.
And we're like, we got it. I'm like, do we call AJ, because I'm not sure he's gonna have a voice.
It was one of those years.
You couldn't hear him over the bus tires.
Well, when I had to do the game after, not this year, but last year when we did the game and they won against Triway, when I did the Ring of Fire, dude, he couldn't talk that night.
I know. It's so funny.
That was a blowout.
I know.
They hammered him.
It's funny. I love it. I love it.
Well, Coach, man, thanks for all you've done for us in 2 years, man. Like, you begged us and begged us at the Sandy Valley game 2 years ago and said, what do we need to do for you to cover us? And your sponsors, your people came to the table, and, man, it's been awesome. We love it, and we love coming up there. And
100%.
Looking at the schedule, maybe we can get back out there for another. Obviously, Thursday we got to go to Sandyville.
Yeah.
So, but we'll look at something on the schedule. Oh, you got Kansas South at home next year.
We do.
Maybe we can sneak up there for that one.
Yeah,
But,
that'd be fun.
Well, Coach, have a great offseason. Enjoy the weight room. Enjoy
Merry
that new
Christmas.
baby, by the way.
Yes.
And how many is that now? 3?
3. Yep. CC's at gymnastics. She's 6. Connor's 22 months. He's got on Claymont's court last night during the game in Malvern at my sister's, and oh my God, he's driving my wife nuts. He's running everywhere, and Collins will be 3 months next week. But
crazy.
Everything.
Are we done anymore?
Yeah, we're done.
We're done.
All right.
We're
Hey,
done.
real
Get
quick,
the scissors out.
Real quick story. I want to hear about that trip to Alton Stadium. That
Oh
looked
my
so
God.
awesome. That
So-
looked so awesome.
Since I've been a kid, so everyone asks, why are you an Oregon fan? Why are you an Oregon fan? So Coach Hertler, when my dad coached for him, they would go to Ohio State and Michigan over spring ball. Scott Leffler was at Michigan, Barberton guy, quarterback coach. So Hertler's run games from Trestle, pass games from Michigan. So Dad would bring me back clothes, and I'd wear both, and people are like, you can't cheer for Ohio State, Michigan. So I saw Joey Harrington beat Texas in the Holiday Bowl, and I just jumped on the bandwagon in 2000. Always wanted to go. And we didn't go on vacation this summer because we're having a baby and other things. And my wife goes, let's go, like you've always taught. So we bought tickets in June as soon as the Oregon State tickets came out. And we got them, like they were going for $500. And we got them way cheaper than that. But we were row 60, 45-yard line. And like my wife was in shock because, number one, the facilities are unbelievable. Like the track, they have the Olympic trials there. We saw the softball field, saw Steve Prefontaine's rock, got on the baseball field. But it's totally different than Ohio State. Like it's a family environment. They do a tailgate in the indoor facility before the game.
Wow.
And then the team walks through. Like I got a high five from Dan Lanning, Bo Nix, but they tile the turf down. You can go in there before the game, during the game, after the game. Just very relaxed. And then after the game, 5 minutes after the game, anybody can go on the field.
Wow.
So we went on the field and took pictures. There's dads and kids playing catch with the ball. Like they didn't.
That is cool.
They didn't scan anybody for anything when you walked in. You were allowed to take in a clear bag of any food or drink that you wanted. Like it was so different.
We won't ask you what was in your clear
I don't
bag.
drink. I bought a Pepsi there.
There you
I
go.
don't drink.
That's fine.
But it was like the atmosphere. I mean, because Animal House was filmed there, so they play Shout at the end of the third quarter.
Nice.
They did a drone show. It's on. I mean, I've been to Lambeau, and I've been to Ohio State, and I've been to Michigan for Michigan-Ohio State game. I've been to Northwestern, Penn State, Illinois. Like, it was the coolest experience. It was unbelievable.
Awesome.
Like, my wife had a blast. I'm very fortunate we did it because she's like, we left Thanksgiving morning. So she's like, our kids don't know we're going. Like, they're too young. This is the time to do it. So flew out Thanksgiving at 5:20.
That's
Game was Friday. Left Oregon at 5:40 Saturday morning.
Now you got to wait until you retire until you can do it again.
I know. Like, it's crazy, but it was. I can't even put into words. Like,
that's awesome.
It was
Good
so
for you
cool.
guys.
Yeah, we had a blast.
Well, thank you. Thanks for taking time away from the fam, and Merry Christmas, and thanks for all you do for us.
Merry Christmas to you guys.
Yes,
Like you said, the Fairless people listen to 99.9 every Friday. Like, they text me when I'm on, and we love what you guys do. Like, promoting high school sports, the kids that get Player of the Week, and what you do on Twitter and Facebook, and the games on YouTube. It's unbelievable. So we're very thankful and appreciative for covering us.
I got to give a shout out to Mr. Glasgow too. Phil's a very
guidance counselor.
Phil's been a family friend of mine ever since. He's like an older brother to me. Him and his brother Bob. They're family. So so he's a good dude.
Yes,
you're lucky to have him.
Yes, we are.
Well, thank you.
Thanks,
appreciate
guys.
you.
We appreciate it.
That's
Thank
AJ
you.
Starball, Fairless head coach, joining us here on our season wrap-up show live from the Pointe Dining. Going to take a quick break. Have another coach back after this with Big Z Sports.
Thanks, Coach.
Let the experts at Bear Carpet One in Sugar Creek help you pick out the right window treatment for you. Bear is now carrying Alta Window Fashions. Their cost-effective, made-in-America blinds and shades come in many styles. Honeycomb, roller shades, wood, faux wood, aluminum, and vertical blinds. Even custom shutters in many fabrics and materials. Alta blinds and shades can be automated through a remote, smartphone, or even voice. Come check out Bear's Alta display. Bear Carpet One, just off Route 39 in the Salzburg Plaza in Sugar Creek.
T-County Boxing Academy on East High in New Philadelphia invites anyone serious about boxing to see what they offer and have success just like pro boxer and Yurixville's own Sugar Dre Donovan. T-County Boxing Academy not only offers the area's premier training facility, but also offers the best supplements on the market for peak training to get the most out of your workouts. To see all T-County Boxing Academy has to offer, find T-County Boxing Academy-TCBA on Facebook.
Is there anything better than high school sports? Hi, this is Dan Hosteller of Ferris Chevrolet Buick Toyota. High school sports brings out the best of our high schools and our communities, and the people at Ferris have always been behind the importance of athletics and academics. Just like we believe in the great cars and trucks that we sell and service every day. Like high school sports, we are a great tradition in the area. Ferris on the Wabash, New Philadelphia.
Big Brothers Big Sisters needs your help. Hi, this is Monique Duke, and we are committed to matching 82 children that have been waiting to meet their big. Do you have 4 hours a month that you could share with a little doing something you both enjoy? We match bigs and littles with similar interests, so this could be fishing, going to a ball game, going to church, or even shopping. If you would be interested in changing a child's life, please contact us at 330-339-6916 or visit us at bigsforkids.com/volunteer.
Welcome back to the Caleb Fell Real Estate Extra Point Show, our wrap-up show, I should say, here from Pointe Dining in New Philadelphia.
It's almost an extra point show.
It is almost an extra point show. Chris Kale and joining us with this segment, Nick McWilliams, and you were talking about the steak, the filet gorgonzola. Phenomenal here at the Point.
It's always phenomenal, but I got to be honest too. I am a big proponent of anything pasta and anything deep fried. So I had to get some Point pasta.
And I get that, and it was good. So
I'm doing that while I'm young because I've been told if I do that later down the road, that might be a problem.
You look like me or Coach Gardner. I can pick on him.
I'm going to tell him what time to go back
and
look.
That's fine. It's fine. We're going to welcome in head coach of the Tusky Valley Trojans, Greg Dickerhoof, and Coach, congratulations on a great season. You guys really fired off the first 5 weeks of the year. Really strong. Then you ran into that gauntlet. Still thought there was a couple games that, and you would probably agree, you left out there. I think you could have got a couple of those IBC games, especially the Sandy Valley game. It was just a heartbreaker to wrap things up. But before I ask you about anything, just want to continue to say that all of Big Z Sports and all of our community's thoughts and prayers are with you, with the Tusky Valley community, the Zorville community, and everybody, and just can't thank everybody out there in Z Country enough for donating and sending well wishes and all that stuff. And if you have anything to say about that.
No, I'd just like to thank everybody, thank the community. I think it's been, at least from our point of view, just you feel like that, how close Tusk County and really all the surrounding counties are, and we felt that. We felt everybody coming in to kind of help us out, and near and far around here have really been there to help, and we appreciate it. And it's been good to see and feel when you're going through those tough times.
Absolutely, and we appreciate you being here with that. And so, Coach, first half of the season, this past year, you got the 21-6 win down at Waynedale. You knocked off Fairless 45-14. That was kind of when you and I in the studio went, "Oh, Tusky Valley's for real."
There's just a lot of
Yeah, we kind of did one of those. Oh my goodness, they're here now. And it just goes to show in that game, I think that we finally understood that it takes a while to build a program around here, right? It just does. And now kids are starting to buy into your program. You're starting to get the numbers, starting to get things working the way you want it to, and it's paying off, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think, again, as I said all off season when we talked, you'd hear a lot about that senior class and the way that they pushed, the way that they kind of drove the off season and everything else. They had to go through the tough times of being in the IVC and playing as a young group of guys, and then we got to see them kind of pay off this year and really be in almost every game. We were right there. I mean, there were only a couple where we got bogged down, but in most of our games, we were in them. We had an opportunity. Even in the playoff game, I think if we had our chances to kind of take that one, and we weren't able to do it. But it's that senior class believing and guiding. And as we said at our banquet, I kind of challenged all of our younger guys, like, this is what it looks like. Now we got to continue to the next step.
Now, Coach, we talked a lot whenever we talked with you earlier in the season and such. That second half of the year, we know how tough the IVC is over and over, but something that some people might not be aware of, you guys were dealing with a lot of injury bugs throughout the season, and I know no coach wants to use that as an excuse for anything, but it was really hard for you guys, and that, especially in that second half of the year.
Yeah. I mean, anytime you have injuries to your running back. Ricky went down week 3, and then you just slowly get dinged up through our schedule. And as I think shows by the Garraway run in the playoffs, Indian Valley's run in the playoffs, Sandy Valley won a game in the playoffs. You just see how we perform against everybody else. Like, we're a tough physical conference, and you're going to get dings and you're going to get beat up, and you got to hope that you're just able to make it through from week to week. And it stinks. Sometimes those come at the wrong time, and if they come against the meat of that schedule, it's a tough one to kind of have to face up against.
And, Coach, I got to say, we have so many great athletes in this area when we do our extra point shows throughout the season. Always great talking to various different players from the area. I got to say, though, your team coming in at the Tusk County Fair had to be some of the most animated guys that we had on that show. Are they usually that loose and that playful?
I don't know. I guess it was the fair atmosphere, fries. We were next to the ride.
The Cattleman's Burgers were coming.
Yeah, there was burgers afterwards. There was too much there, I guess. They all kind of came alive for that period.
Coach, some of the seniors, Cole Clemens, a record-setting career for you in your program. Just a tremendous year he had. Logan McKinney obviously just had the injury bug. John Leffler, a great season. Virgil Myers is one of the kids that I want to talk about. 78 tackles, 8 interceptions, 10 passes defensed, was first team East District in D6, first team IVC. He won a Hats Off award a couple of weeks for us. He was one of our Defensive Player of the Year candidates. And, just talk about your seniors and the stamp that they made on your program.
First team All-Ohio as well.
First team All-Ohio. Sorry, I missed that. Yep.
No,
he's not going to let you miss out.
Yeah.
On that.
No, and I wouldn't either. Verge, I'm sorry, buddy.
They were the driving force. They showed up. They came to work. During that, we started out hot. And when it's easy when everything's going well to stay hot. And that was kind of the concern when we came into week 10. We were coming off of 3, really 4 back-to-back just hard weeks where we didn't do what needed to be done to win the game, or we turned it over, where we, at some points couldn't find a rhythm against, the Garraways and Indian Valley. Couldn't find a rhythm. They're really, really good football teams. If you can't find a rhythm, you turn it over, it's going to be a long day. So we're coming in against Sandy Valley, and, we're worried. Kind of in the back of my head, like, how are we doing? We're back to 4-5. We can win this game, but we got to compete. And those seniors showed the week going into the playoffs. They drove a tough week of practice, a ready week of practice, to get us to compete and really be on the doorstep of winning both those.
Yeah, what a football game. I mean, the Sandy Valley game. I've heard all year long the atmosphere, the home atmosphere that you guys have in Zorville is incredible. And, Coach Gamble, when we talked to him after that game, he commended you and your school and the students for how loud that place was. And he said it was one of the coolest atmospheres he's been a part of in a while.
Yeah, listen, our community loves it. They love football. And, I think all year we brought it, and our community brought it to those games and cheered loud. We're in the games. We're, making it what makes that home field advantage great. When you're at home, you have everybody yelling and screaming. You're outnumbered, and you're getting after it. It's a special feeling, and it just, I think it pushes everybody as they feel that energy.
Coach, I'm happy you mentioned earlier about that last week and the performance and the seniors stepping up. You look at your first round playoff game. You draw Fort Fry.
Yeah.
It's as tough as you could possibly imagine. They are a tough team in your division and in that region. But you guys really did hang with them, and you really gave them quite a good contest.
Yeah, 21-14 at the half, 28-14 after 3.
So, I mean, where did that – because, it would have been easy after 5 straight losses to just kind of pack it up and say, hey, we made the playoffs. That clearly didn't happen with your players.
No, and it was really – really it just came down to we missed a couple plays. We missed a couple plays, and we fumbled on the 1-yard line.
Right.
You take those things back, and, you don't want to play that game, but you take those things back and you kind of like, hey, guys, I hope you guys see. I always tell them our league is one of the toughest leagues you're going to play in, walking in, week in, week out, from week 5 to week 10. So when we get to the playoffs, we can compete with anybody. I feel like that. I feel like we can compete with anybody in our region. And we drew one of the tough teams, and we competed and really, I feel like walked out of there with a sense of we belong, and we can compete with Fort Fry's. We can compete with them. We can hang with them. 3 things go different. We feel like that game would have went a different way.
Coach, taking a look now at next season. I know we're only in December, but you're always thinking about that, right? Any idea who your signal caller might be next year if you want to reveal that? Or is it a competition?
We're going to compete for it. We're going to see where it lends out. I think we have a lot of really, really good athletes in this upcoming senior class, and I think a lot of those guys could step in. It's always hard to replace a guy like Cole, who's been there for 3 years, who had a command of kind of what I wanted to do and was able to, talk to me as the game goes on. There were answers to the questions I had, which was a lot different than when he was a freshman. He didn't have those answers.
No, absolutely.
But as a senior, he had those answers, and he was able to tell me what he saw.
Right.
So those guys are always hard to replace, and the Lefflers, and really all of our seniors are hard to replace. But we have an upcoming good group of juniors, and I think that they can really push.
In one of those soon-to-be juniors, Jesse Carr filled in admirably for Logan when he was injured. You bring Jesse back, so you've got that stability in the backfield, which is good.
Yeah, Jesse is, he's really come in the last 2 years he's had to as a freshman, and as a sophomore now kind of come in and be the workhorse, and he's durable, he's reliable, and has really done a good job for us.
Looking ahead, though, the one last thing we'll do with the looking ahead, the schedule for the first half of the year for you guys, any kind of changes, maybe out-of-conference changes that you know of?
Just shuffling up who our crossover game is.
Yeah, right. Do you know who your crossover is?
I believe it's East Can.
Put you on the spot.
Yeah.
Put him on the spot.
Way to go. We were just having this conversation. I was just talking to Coach Churko because I know, Malvern moves down, and I keep forgetting whether it's next year or the year after they move down to our crossover, and we got to find a new week 4. I was like, do you know which one is that? Had to ask that question.
Well, Coach, happy holidays to you and your family. We thank you so much for all that you allow us to do with your program, whether it's coming up there for a 2-a-days or you calling in after a big win, and then coming here tonight and being able to fellowship with all the other coaches, which I think is so cool. You guys can hear how loud the room is, and it's full of coaches, and it's so awesome. We appreciate you so much, and you and your program, and again, continued thoughts and prayers to the community.
Thank you.
All right, that is head coach Greg Dickerhoof of the Tusky Valley Trojans. When we come back, we're going to have a coach and maybe an award winner coming up. So we'll return on the Caleb Fell Real Estate wrap-up show right here from The Point on Z Country 99.9.
Dumont Sporting Goods in Dover and Canton has just what you're looking for, so your athletes have the best gear for the sports they love. Dumont has a large apparel selection and can handle your customized screen printing and embroidery for your team or business. For sporting goods and all your apparel, Dumont Sporting Goods in Dover and Canton has everything you want to play and look your best.
Cush Financial Group has been proudly serving the financial needs of local community members for over 35 years. The team at Cush Financial follows an industry-leading service model with the unique approach and fiduciary responsibilities associated with their board-certified financial planner. With over 75 years of combined experience, the advisors at Cush Financial Group are here to help you achieve your financial goals. Contact the office at 330-308-8700 or visit cushfinancial.com to schedule your free consultation today. Securities and investment advisory services offered through Independent Capital Company Incorporated, member FINRA, SIPC. Top Notch Auto on East Plum Alley in Janaden, your one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, offering an experienced staff that can handle just what you need to keep your vehicle running at its best. Top Notch Auto specializes in diagnostics with state-of-the-art diagnostic equipment. Whether your vehicle needs routine maintenance or major repairs, Top Notch Auto can handle all your vehicle needs. They also offer a large selection of tire brands, including Goodyear, Kelly, and Cooper, just to name a few. Find Top Notch Auto LLC on Facebook or call them at 740-561-4100.
Busy schedule? Check out Benson's Heat and Eat section with a variety of entrees and sides for you to choose from. And don't forget, Monday through Friday from 4 to 6, Benson's culinary team prepares hot, made-from-scratch dinners, complete with garden salad and bread and butter. Just call ahead to order. For daily and weekly specials, visit bensonsmc.com. Follow them on Facebook or stop into the market. Benson's Market and Catering, 207 North Worcester Avenue in Dover.
The Tuscarawas County dairy farmers want you to know that low-fat chocolate milk is a great choice for student athletes and hard workers. It provides the nutrition needed after practices, games, or a hard day at work, and it tastes great. Low-fat chocolate milk is packed with carbohydrates for energy, proteins to repair muscles, fluids to rehydrate, plus vitamins and minerals to help build strong bones and bodies. It's the official beverage of the Ohio High School Athletic Association. Tuscarawas County Dairy Farmers. Farms, family, food.
Jeff Wallach LLC is a family-owned and operated company proudly serving greater Northeast Ohio and surrounding communities for over 25 years. We specialize in vinyl siding, replacement windows and doors, gutters, downspouts, and much more. We provide quality service regardless of the size or scope of the project. Our crews are reliable, respectful, and mindful of a safe work environment. Jeff Wallach LLC is certified by the Better Business Bureau. Call today and discover how we can assist you in making your vision a reality.
PAC Drilling, a family-owned and operated company since 2005 in Bolivar, takes pride in being an economic oil and gas drilling company. PAC's objective is to contribute to American energy independence through profitable development, operation, and marketing of oil and natural gas wells. PAC also employs operating technicians to oversee each and every well drilled to maximize its productivity and longevity. Contact PAC Drilling at pacdrilling.com.
Welcome back to the Caleb Fell Real Estate Extra Point Show or Wrap-Up Show, however you want to do it.
I'm just going to keep doing that, right?
Chris Gale, Nick McWilliams here with you from the Pointe Dining in New Philadelphia. Food has been great. I know what this guy got. I know what I got. You got pasta. We'll find out what Morgan got in a minute, but we're going to welcome in head coach of the West Holmes Knights, Zach Gardner. Also welcome in one of our Player of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year candidates in Yeah, my goodness gracious, Morgan Smith from West Holmes. I don't know why I just did that. But anyway,
You're trying to
you
say
say
too much
something.
at once
I am.
again.
You say something.
I will, Coach. First and foremost, we always love that you get to come down here for our wrap-up show. And, looking back at the season that West Holmes put together, you said all throughout the year about the expectation that West Holmes had, about the expectation that so many of these underclassmen had. And it just seemed like week in and week out they were finding a way. They were proving it to the people who might have doubted you guys. It was a phenomenon along the way. How would you kind of...
Incredibly proud of what our kids did this year. The weight of the expectations that they have. We have high expectations at West Holmes. We expect to win league titles. We expect to compete for state championships and advance as deep as we can into the playoffs. And our slogan for this year was earn it. And that was to tell our kids to go out there and earn it. And you deserve to have success. And our kids went out and earned it. We had a lot of great memories this year. A lot of fantastic victories. Went to the regional semis for the fourth year in a row, and competed. And we had a lot of expectations. We had a lot of doubters. A lot of guys that expecting everything that we lost, that we weren't be able to put up the numbers that we did, and we did. You did. Offensively, we were right on pace. We averaged more yards a game than we did the year before, more first downs, more explosive plays, and we were a couple points off, our total from the year before. And that's just a testament to our kids' hard work and the culture that we've built and the systems that we have installed. And our kids went out and did it. So, fantastic year. Finished very strong. Winning 8 in a row and winning 10 games, which is something that we're proud of. But like I said, very proud of these kids and what they were able to accomplish this year.
Well, and we talk a lot, and I tell you, you guys just keep breeding quarterbacks out there. Morgan's such a good kid, and you've had such a great group of quarterbacks come through your program at West Holmes. And your season, like you said, you could sit back and say, oh, well, they lost this, they lost that. But you guys you don't rebuild, you just reload what you're doing. And it's a testament to your staff, to the community, to all the administrators out there, that everybody buys into this program. I mean, you look at it, right? You were one of our Big Z Sports Coach of the Year candidates. Morgan was one of our Offensive Player of the Year and Player of the Year candidates. You had Lynn Klein, who was one of our Defensive Player of the Year candidates. You guys just continue to reload.
Yeah, and that's the expectation. Like, West Holmes is an amazing place to coach and to teach and to work, and the community support that you get out there, it's the type of place that deserves to have a quality football program. And we're so proud to put the product that we do out there and to reload. We had a fantastic text chain going at the start of the year when it was with all of our guys have been sitting in this very spot previously, talking about how it's a fraternity, it's something that you have to earn and be a part of. We talk about how running our offense is like getting the keys to a Ferrari. You know what I mean?
To the Lambo,
yeah,
baby.
to the Lamborghini.
Right.
You have to be able to. A lot is put on you. It's the toughest position to play in sports. In any sport, is to play quarterback with all that you have on you and all that you have to do. And we've been very blessed to have a lot of great athletes, including Morgan here, to play quarterback for us.
And Morgan, I'll bring you in now, and just. I want to say first and foremost how proud I am that you're wearing your Player of the Week shirt. Only one that's
he's got to be the first that I know.
I think he's the first ever that came in wearing that.
Now the real question though is, how often did you wear that with pride at school?
It's like 2 days a week. I think he's got it.
Well, I mean, he's got like 10 shirts.
Listen, don't let him fool you. He was trying to act like he didn't remember his stats a little bit ago. This young man understands. He knows. He knows.
So listen. So we talk about getting the keys to the Ferrari or the Bugatti or whatever you want to call it, right? You've got this guy standing out there, and the expectations he has on his quarterbacks, because all the quarterbacks before you at West Holmes have been phenomenal underneath him. So what was your expectations for yourself coming into the season?
Well, I just expected that I was going to do the same as all the other quarterbacks, because that's just how he coaches them, I guess. And I just worked hard before the season, because I knew that I needed to fill big shoes, big role, and Yeah, just practice hard.
Yeah, you had big shoes to fill, but this young man has big feet, and he did a great job for us.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, Coach, you said throughout the year that he's got the wrestling background, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So what do you apply from the wrestling mat to the football field? Is there anything that crosses over?
I'd say like a little bit of balance, like being able to use like people's weight against you, I guess.
See, we're unlocking just for everyone's next training program. It's all wrestling for their quarterbacks.
I'll tell you what it is. Ultimately, with this young man, it's the toughness. Like if you watch one of our football games, he'll run, he'll get absolutely hammered. We try to tell him to go down, but the young man will not go down or step out of bounds.
It's an extra 2 yards, Coach.
He'll get hammered, and he hops up, throws the football to the referee, and gets right back to get the next play call. That's the type of player that he is.
Well, and we'll get to your numbers in a little bit, okay? But I want to ask you
the
about
numbers he doesn't know, right?
The numbers he doesn't know,
what they
right?
are.
But when you have a Nate Fair, you have a Kyle Maltrich, you have a Logan Zollers as a wide receiver, you have a Lynn Klein as a wide receiver as well. When you have that receiving core, it has to be so nice to know that when you put it close, those kids are going to bring it in for you.
Yeah, it's nice because like when they're man, I can just pretty much lob it up and throw it to them, or even like when we're throwing like a screen pass, like they have the opportunity to take it to the house at any time, like no matter what. And it's nice because like sometimes I barely have to do anything on offense, like on a drive or two.
just put it out there and let them go do the work, right? Yeah, and especially Maltrich, who he's like the Swiss Army knife. That kid's an incredible athlete.
No, you look at our season, man. He punted, he held on extra points, return kicks.
He got dinged up, and we didn't know that he was even going to be able to come back. And 2 weeks later, he was back, right?
Yeah, that was a lot of toughness for him, playing through pain, just doing what he needed to do to get back. But, he exceptional young man, obviously where he's going to school, Yale.
Yep.
I mean, not many people around here going to an Ivy League.
I don't think there's too many Ivy Leagues from these parts,
not
brother.
Not me, brother.
It's just the way it is, just being honest.
I don't even think I can spell Ivy.
but Kyle's just a special kid for us. I say all the time, when your best players, your best athletes are your best teammates, that's when you have something special, and that's Kyle Maltrich to a T.
Well, Coach, taking a look at the first half of your season, end up 3-2. You had the losses to Licking Valley. We know Licking Valley's program, and that was a tight one. Mansfield Senior, another tight football game, and we know how good Senior was this year as well, and both of those games on the road. Talk about the first half of the schedule before you get into OCC play. You did with Mansfield, obviously, but just a really strong kind of top end to get things started with you guys to kind of mold what you were trying to do.
Yeah, like we said, in 2022 we had the #1 scoring offense in the state of Ohio, and so our kids had the weight of the world on their shoulders. Winning streak in the 20s, and three OCC championships in a row. So our kids had the weight of their shoulders on them, and we had a really young group. When you go through and you probably 75% of our team was playing junior varsity football the previous years. And then Kyle was kind of like deodorant for our team that made us seem like we were a veteran-laden team.
We had a nickname, and it didn't come until too late.
Yes.
Because he didn't want to hear us referring to his team as deodorant.
But what I mean by that is he made us seem way more veteran than we actually were. And so when he got hurt, we had said some guys, Lynn Klein, a sophomore, thrust into the role of Logan Zollers, thrust into the role of here you go. And all they did went out. Licking Valley, even though we lost that game, we set the school record for passing yards in the game, throwing 500 yards and throwing it all over the place. And, that game comes down to one bounce here or there. The Mansfield Senior game, again, people around here probably don't realize how tough it is to play at Mansfield Senior. That is that's a tough place to play, and our kids went in there and they battled. And if we didn't have a couple, I think they recovered two kickoffs for us, and I think we snapped the ball through the end zone there. But if you take one of those plays away, that's a completely different football game. And our kids battled, and we knew what we had, and just so proud of the way that they came out with the target on their back, the way that they did it, and went out and executed. And then now it's time to talk about the second half of the season. Because these kids grew up, they made plays, and just like we said, the entire community of West Holmes is just so proud of the way that they balled out and finished this for us.
Well, I'm happy you said that about the second half of the season.
He might as well. He can do the interview by himself.
He could, but you guys did have the back-to-back losses, which I know is something that you have not had in a long, long time out there in West Holmes. But then all of a sudden, that run starts where you guys start the winning streak again.
Yep.
Do you remember any certain point, kind of almost a turning point for you guys after those 2 losses, when you really felt like everything turned around and kind of started that streak again?
Yeah, absolutely. It was during our Lexington week in practices, and I don't know what happened, but I remember I said to every coach, I said, guys, I can just tell in the weight room, in the classroom, in the practice field, in the locker room, I can just tell that we all of a sudden we flipped the switch and we are a veteran football team now, and it came to fruition as we went out and played a very good Lexington team, and our offense really clicked that week, and our defense really stepped up as the back half of the year happened. Again, if we were young anywhere the most, it was on our defensive side of the football, and we really grew up the second half of the season. And if you look at some of those games, the new Philadelphia game, the Ashland game, our defense won us that football game.
Well,
football games.
And we talked a little bit about that in some of our interviews on Friday nights, right? Is your team was tested. Whether it was a lopsided win or tight wins, your team knew how to finish football games, and that was important as you go on an 8-game winning streak and get 2 playoff wins.
And here's something you find, the more success you have as a program and the more tournament games you play and the bigger games that you play in, you have to have multiple pathways to victory. Like whether it's a low-scoring defensive struggle or a shootout or special teams to make plays. And that's something we've learned, the last 5 years, 6 years of the success that we've had, is that you got to have multiple pathways. So that was real deliberate on us as a coaching staff to be able to play a slugfest like we did against New Philly, and or to play a shootout like we did against Bryan in the first round of the playoffs. Having to score 70 points.
70 to 50. I mean, seriously, Coach, we talked
it was
to you
not
after
a
that
basketball game, we swear.
I'm like, oh my goodness, 70 points?
And we saw as a coaching staff that they were very good offensively. We're in the toughest division or region in Division 4. That Northwest region is fantastic. The Western, and here's what I've learned going and playing the Van Werts and whatnot, and the Bryans of the world. The western half of the state of football, of Ohio football, is fantastic. And we saw on film, like, these guys are going to score points. They had a fantastic running back, quarterback. They were coached well, and we knew we had to score points. So that game we put the pedal to the metal and tried to score as much as we could, and ended up scoring 70 points and then winning a playoff game, which is big.
70 to 50, it's like an old Big 12 game. It almost seemed like that.
Well, I mean, in the playoffs, you have to be able to win any type of football game. You don't know what the weather's going to be like. You don't know what your opponent's going to be like. You have to be able to compete and play those type of games.
Yeah, and Coach, like you talked about, you wrap things up with 2 playoff wins. You beat Bryan 70 to 50, and then defeated number 5 seed Gallion 22 to 19. Before ultimately running into Perkins, that finished you guys up at 10-3 on the season, but a really good season for you guys. But I want you to talk about your seniors. Like I mentioned, Nate Fair, Kyle Maltrich, and Graham Martin, and some others. Just talk about the stamp that they left on West Holmes football.
Oh, they left a huge stamp on West Holmes football, and you look through all of those guys contributed in some way to some fantastic victory for us. Nate Fair catching the last pass of the game against New Philadelphia.
What a grab!
Yeah, it's fantastic.
What a throw!
For us. What a throw! Good scramble drill that took place. And then you got Graham Martin, a senior for us, who we had Kyle Maltrich got injured in that Gallion game, and Graham Martin had to step up for us, doing a role that he never did, and he ends up catching a double ricochet pass for a touchdown. To win a game. We really were the cardiac kids this year.
It doesn't have to be perfect; it just has to work, right?
No, yeah, and that's what I love about these kids. They know how to win. They never quit on us. They kept slugging away, fighting away against any adversity that came their way, and the results speak for themselves. And our senior class was a huge part of that. Obviously they're all going to go on and do great things in life, but we're excited about what we got coming back too. So 4 or 5 offensive linemen, a really good core group of receivers, our running back, a ton of returners, including the Eastern District Defensive Player of the Year in Lynn Klein, line on defense. You know, we are excited about the future of West Holmes football.
And when you look at Lynn Klein, like you talk about, 107 tackles, 3 for a loss, a forced fumble, a fumble recovery, 4 passes defensed, just an incredible job in OCC Defensive Player of the Year, like you said. And, you know, with him returning it'll only be a junior, that's a great anchor right there for you guys at linebacker.
Absolutely. We knew that Lynn was going to be a special player when he was young, and at the start of the year, you don't ever want to throw sophomores to the wolves. You want to work them in, and you know, the plan wasn't for him to start playing defense, and he ended up playing it in the middle of week 3, and then went on to be the Eastern District, you know, Defensive Player of the Year as a sophomore. You know, he's a special talent, and we're blessed to have him and a whole bunch of kids like Lynn Klein on our team that step up and make plays for us.
All right, Morgan. So those numbers that you didn't quite remember, I'm going to ask you a little bit about that.
You better sit down. If you're not sitting down at home, you might want to.
So I'm just going to start off with the fact that you completed 70% of your passes this year, and that is no easy task no matter what kind of offense is out there. I mean, it's hard to connect with your receivers that often, but you completed 200 passes this year, over 3,300 yards through the air. I just run me through how difficult that is sometimes that people don't realize, because you got to pinpoint that throw.
And that's just regular season numbers.
I know.
Yeah, well, I mean, sometimes it gets a little hard, but when Coach draws up those plays, you know, sometimes they're just
he's got to throw the
love
back.
Spoken like a true quarterback.
Yeah, that's right. He wears the shirt. He knows where to butter his bread, man.
He knows where to butter his bread.
But 34 touchdowns through the air, and on top of that, almost a 1,000-yard rusher for you as well. 13 rushing touchdowns, so in total, over 4,200 all-purpose yards, 47 touchdowns as well. I mean, no surprise, Division IV East District Offensive Player of the Year and the first team, and the OCC Offensive Player of the Year as well as first team. You are a McInturf Realty Player of the Week multiple different times, hence the shirt, naturally. All Ohioan. I mean, the list goes on and on. With all that in mind, how excited does that make you now looking forward to your senior year with that kind of numbers?
I'm actually really excited about next year with all the people we have coming back, and receivers, I mean, we're losing Nate and Kyle. They're really good, but like we still have some really good talent coming up, and got another same running back, same offensive line, which that's great.
Yes.
All his best friends in front of him. That's good.
So did you at least pass out one of your extra shirts to the O-linemen? I mean, they probably only wear it as a skirt or something, a workout shirt, but, you know.
Hey, I'm going to tell you something here, too, guys.
Okay.
Your numbers were just the regular season numbers.
Yes.
This young man accounted for over 5,000 yards of total offense, 4,000 throwing, 1,300 rushing, and was able to account for 62 touchdowns.
Yeah,
it's
incredible.
It was like I was playing NCAA 13
100%.
back on the PlayStation 3 back in the day.
I'm with you, brother. I'm with you. And those numbers have led us to this. So our first award of the night goes to Morgan Smith. We pull it out. You are 2023 Offensive Player of the Year for Big Z Sports, man.
Yeah, big dog.
Congratulations. You absolutely deserve that. And again, we kind of go off of everybody else. The East District and everybody else goes off of regular season numbers. So that's what we went off of. We didn't throw in playoffs because we figured that wouldn't. It's not really fair when everybody else does just regular season. So that's those numbers. But congratulations, man. You earned that, and you may be getting another award next year that's a little bit higher if you keep going.
And you know, the 5,000 yards, 62 touchdowns, that helped too. Don't worry. Even though we had already made up our minds, that helped just a little bit.
Yes, it did. But congratulations, man, and we look forward to seeing what you do next year.
Thank you.
Yeah, Coach. Thank you so much. As always, you and your staff, your community always open up your program to us. You welcome us anytime. We really appreciate what you do, what your players do, what your coaching staff does, and thank you. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to you and your family. Tell Ari to go listen to some NSYNC Christmas song for me.
Oh, yeah.
He's into it. I know he has. He's the 90s kid that was born in the teens. I get it. But we appreciate you, man.
No, we appreciate you guys. This right here is fantastic for this young man.
Yeah, he deserves it.
Everything you guys do for everyone here, all these coaches and all these kids, is that you guys are the new, when I was a kid, you'd get up and you'd read the Times Reporter as soon as you could, and it was, and that's not what it used to be. You guys are that now. You guys are what these kids, make the memories for and are so excited to read and be a part of, and we appreciate everything you guys do.
Thank you, Coach. Absolutely.
Yes,
Thank
absolutely.
you.
Well, that, again, is head coach Zach Gardner of the West Holmes Knights and our 2023 Offensive Player of the Year for Big Z Sports, Morgan Smith from the West Holmes Knights. We will be back to do some more coaches, to give out some more awards right here from the Pointe Dining with Claxon Communications and Big Z Sports.
People are always asking, what is Cartoons? I hear that name on the radio all the time. Cartoons is a radio shop in New Philadelphia that specializes in tuning up your stereo system on anything you drive or ride. We tune up car tunes, truck tunes, boat tunes, motorcycle tunes, RV tunes, new and used vehicle tunes. We carry the best brands from Kenwood, Sony, Alpine, Pioneer, just to name a few. Cartoons also carries a full line of lighting accessories, backup camera systems, remote starts, or just need it installed? Give us a call. Cartoons on West High Avenue in New Philly. Be there.
Hi, this is Jan McInturf. The past 30 years, the residents in and around the Tuscarawas County have made the call to the realtors and staff of McInturf Realty for buying and selling of residential and commercial properties. We truly live in a great community, and in all of those communities, there is nothing better than high school sports. For myself and all the agents and staff at McInturf Realty, we would like to wish all the area athletes good luck this season. And make the call to McInturf Realty, 330-364-SOLD, or find us online at McInturfRealty.net.
All the talks we've had over the years, including what you've told me about not using alcohol and other drugs, they stick with me. And believe it or not, they really do make a difference, especially at times that matter most.
Hey, want a drink?
No thanks, I'm good. So thank you, Dad, for talking and preparing me for what's ahead.
Thank you for talking.
For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov
or go to empowertusk.com.
Take a second to step outside of your daily life and breathe. Muskingum Watershed Conservancy District brings that perfect break from a busy life and great destinations for relaxing, camping, fishing, hiking, family-friendly activities, and so much more. Atwood and Tappan Lakes also have new campsites with full hookup connections and full-service marinas. Reserve your adventure now at mwcd.org. The Muskingum Watershed Conservancy District would also like to congratulate all of the area athletes on a great season. At Gillen Body Shop, they know that when their business is needed, it's never planned, and that can cause you quite the inconvenience. That's why Gillen Body Shop makes the process as easy as possible for you by making sure the work is completed right the first time. And Gillen Body Shop's experienced staff gives all completed work a 100% guarantee. So when those unplanned repairs to your vehicle are needed, there's only one choice. Gillen Body Shop on Cary Avenue in New Philly, or find them on Facebook.
Sammy Sue's Barbecue on Front Street in Dover offers a menu full of house-smoked meats, including choices like ribs, chicken, steak, and pork. Sammy Sue's takes pride in knowing that everything on the menu is made fresh in their kitchen with the freshest ingredients. Sammy's also offers a variety of specials all week long, including the popular wing nights every Tuesday and Thursday. Find Sammy Sue's Barbecue on Facebook for a full list of daily specials and everything they have to offer.
Welcome back to the Pointe Dining, Big Z Sports and Claxon Communications, bringing you today's Caleb Fell Real Estate Team postseason show. And Chris Cale, first award given away now. Very exciting stuff there. And you could see the smile on not only Morgan Smith's face, but head coach Zach Gardner. They had to have known that was coming, right?
They knew something was coming. I'm sure they saw us digging around over here a little bit beforehand.
I said technical difficulties when we were working on it.
Well deserved. I mean, a 4,000-yard or 5,000-yard passer and a 1,000-yard rusher. I mean, are you kidding me?
Pretty nice.
Pretty nice. Do you want one of those?
I'll take a couple of them.
So somebody who wants one of those.
Yeah.
Canaan Valley Head coach Derek O'Hara. And, Coach, thank you so much for coming out here and joining us. Hopefully, did you get something good to eat?
Oh, absolutely. Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
So you'll come to realize that this is why this is one of our favorite nights of the year. It's not about giving away awards and everything else. We could just sit back and watch all of you coaches sit around because it's so cool. I mean, you see two coaches that had a very, very intense game in Zach Gardner and head coach Mike Johnson from New Philadelphia sit there and talk. Right?
Absolutely.
You and head coach Dirk Gadd had a good battle, along with Coach Mo over there, and everybody's just talking, and you talk a little bit about football, but you talk a little bit about life too.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. It's just nice to be around everybody. You get to have conversations that you don't get to have normally. We're in the grind of the football season a lot of times, and it's just nice to sit back and appreciate everything you guys do for us.
We appreciate hearing that, Coach. I just had an epiphany. All these coaches coming together and talking and enjoying the food and fellowship. It's our coaches' Christmas.
We
could start calling it our coaches.
There it is.
The KFL Coaches Christmas.
I like it. I like it.
Anyway, we're going way off the rails.
No, it's all good.
We do that. We do
That's the way it happens.
We do that.
Coach, looking back through your season, you guys finishing at 4-7. You get in as the last team in Region 25, so you get that playoff matchup. It's a tough team in Downton, but
Absolutely.
making the playoffs is always something. Yeah, tough team.
They only got to the state championship game.
Right.
Yeah.
But making the playoffs, I know, is a lot of teams' a goal at the beginning of this season. Tell me a little bit about how this year went for you guys. I mean, we know there was a couple up and down moments. You had some really gritty performances, and it seemed like the Rockets were having fun this year for sure.
Yeah, like you just said, it was an up and down year for us. Always going into the season, it's a goal to make the playoffs. We've got it 3 years in a row now, so we want to continue to build upon that. It's a big deal for our school and our community. That we get a lot of support from people out there, so it's nice that we can reward the kids with that opportunity to go out and play another week, get another week of practice, and see what it's all about to prepare for a team like Down. Like I told the kids after the game, I was like, that team's going to the state championship.
He told me too because he texted me. That was you took away my thunder. He texted me right after that game was over, and I was like, Coach, you have nothing to hang your head about. And he was like, I wouldn't be surprised if that team wins the state championship. Well, he called the shot.
Behold, yes, he did.
Yeah, they were unbelievable. And we battled injuries a lot this year. We only had about 5 kids back that had significant playing time last year, so we were breaking in a lot of new kids, and they got a lot of valuable experience. So, it was a good year for us to build upon.
Now, I was there to call the game that you guys had against the Strasburg Tigers at home.
Football game.
And oh my goodness, it was one of the more entertaining games that I have seen in a long, long time. And I think that showed a lot of what I think you talked about in the pregame for that one. You wanted your team to have grit. You wanted your team to have that little extra edge to just find the way to win. So have you actually calmed down after that game, though? Because I know you were rather excited.
Never. I never calmed down. I coached with a lot of emotion on the sideline. And that was a game we knew going in. We were without Cam Wright, who got injured the week before. So we knew we were going to learn a lot about ourselves and see who was going to step up. And Gavin Haney had an amazing game for us, the big reception at the end and seal the game. He had a couple interceptions too, and we just grinded that game out. Kudos to Coach Morris, what he's done to rebuild that program, and it was a very competitive game, and it's a fun game. That's somebody we consider our rival, so going in against that game, it's new. We had a chance to get that one, and we wanted to battle, and we did a good job. We sealed the deal at the end and come out with a victory.
Yeah, and Coach, like Nick was talking about, you ended up 3-2 after the first half of your season, and then you slide in, to your second half. You lost to Caldwell. We know how good Caldwell is, and they're just seems like every
team.
It's right. It just seems like they continue
just throw
to load
that in there in the second half.
But when you have teams like that, they make you better, right?
Oh,
they just do.
Well, and it's like I talked about with the kids after the season and at the banquet. I said, that's what a program is meant to be. When you have kids that have been in your program for 4 or 5 years, from junior high up through, you build and they have numbers. We had the Caldwell, then we had Toronto week 8, Steubenville Central week 9. It was a grind that second half of the season. We knew going in there were going to be some really tough games, and like you said.
And then you draw it out.
Yeah, then we draw it out in the playoffs.
But, that's the thing is, when you see a team like Kirtland, you say, dude, they've been in the state championship game 6 years in a row now.
Yeah.
6 years in a row. You wonder why as soon as their season ends, that next Monday, they're in the weight room.
Yeah.
Weight room's open.
Yeah.
And some kids don't understand, well, why is Kirtland a perennial state championship team? That's why, because they put in the work. And it takes time for you coaches to build those programs. And, following Coach Hertler was a good one, and coaching with him was a good one because we know that's a Hall of Fame coach right there.
Absolutely.
So I'm sure you learned a lot from him on how to build a program.
Oh, absolutely. The lessons I learned from him were phenomenal, And one thing I talked about the kids when I took over the job, I said, we got to get better in the weight room, and the kids that were there, they've really bought in. We've seen great strides in the weight room. We've gotten a lot stronger over the course of the year. We just need more bodies to, have some depth. And, we'd like to have a JV team eventually and, build our program. That's how you do it from the bottom up. So, we just got to keep working and we'll get better.
Now, I wanted to ask you about some of your seniors, some of your players. We know Noah Smith was really the bell cow for you guys throughout the entire year. But on top of that, more of the senior leadership, maybe not seniors on the field. We joked about having a 5,000-yard, 60-touchdown quarterback. You guys got a heck of a quarterback coming back in Zach Putnam, who we know was really dynamic for you guys throughout the season. You get Cam Wright back. You get Noah's brother Luke Smith back. So this is a roster that you're going to have some turnover with just a couple of seniors leaving. But you got a lot of those core playmakers that are returning.
Yeah, and like you said, credit to our 3 seniors,
and I forgot about Brooks Bauer, so I have to throw that in there.
You can't forget about him and Gavin Henry.
And Gavin Haney.
Or Gavin Haney. They got a lot coming back and some kids that can catch the football.
Yeah, so like I said, our 3 seniors, I give those guys a lot of credit. They hung around and they battled through a lot of things. And then, like you said, Zach Putnam's a phenomenal kid. He's one of our team captains and just does a lot of really good things for us. He battled 2 major injuries this year that we didn't really push out to the public. So the grit that he showed to get through the season, he had a leg injury where he basically couldn't drive off his leg. And then he hurt his hamstring in week 6 at Caldwell. So he dealt with that for the rest of the season. So, looking forward to next year, hopefully keep him healthy and, get to the ball with Cam and Brooks and Gavin and, and get other bodies that, help us. And, Luke Smith had a really good year, and the kid that played beside him was a freshman, Carson Milburn, on defense. I give that kid a lot of credit. He got mowed over a lot of times, but he just kept getting up. He didn't miss one snap all season. So, we got some things to build around.
Now, I know it was there more than just Zach with this. It was a lot of different members of your team who did it, but I just remember Zach specifically on certain plays. It seemed like there was no fear. They knew they were going to get hit. They knew that they were going to have to put the body on the line, basically, but it just seemed time and time again the Rockets were willing to do that, and it seemed like Zach was kind of the poster child for
absolutely. Zach's a competitor. I mean, he took some good shots this year, and he took some even last year, but we knew, we lost 4 to 5 guys up front last year, so we knew it was going to be interesting to see how the new kids responded. And there were times they played really well, and there were times they didn't play well. It's just that's how the season goes sometimes. And like you said, Zach, he's going to step up, and he was really frustrated at points in the season because he didn't have as good a stats or whatever as last year. But that's just a competitive spirit coming out. I said, hey, don't worry about it. You sling it around. Let's go out there and have fun.
Exactly. Coach, swing into next year, what wraps or what does your schedule look like? Familiar opponents, I'm sure.
Yeah, the schedule's pretty much staying the same. We lose Caldwell week 6, and we picked up Trinity Christian out of West Virginia.
Okay.
How sad are you to see Caldwell go?
Not sad at all. When they're rolling out 40, 50 boys, and I'm rolling out 19.
Right. I get it. I get it.
It's tough, though. I mean, that's what we were talking about over the table, we're small. We got 3 of the smallest schools in Division 7 right here in this little area between TCC, us, and Strasburg,
Right.
And, it's hard sometimes, because you don't get the same practice reps that a lot of teams get, and you don't get the same looks that you need to get ready for the teams. But
anything you know about that Trinity Christian team?
We've seen them on film a couple times, but it's just we needed an opponent that was more on our level.
And that's understandable.
So, we're just going to keep grinding. So, but everything else is staying the same.
No. Oh, sorry. Just on-air communication.
Little conversation.
Yeah,
It's all right.
Yeah, just
Little side
conversation.
convo.
Absolutely.
You would think after 5 or 6 years of
No.
this, we would have our communication.
Absolutely not, because they already know what Big Z Sports is like. So
Yes,
no, not
it's
at
a
all.
train wreck.
Well, again, thank you so much, Coach, for your time, and thank you so much for allowing us to come in and cover the Rockets. Always fun stuff when we get to go out to Bowerston and see that awesome facility that you guys have. I'm looking forward to hopefully getting back there for a game next year, calling another one. So we just thank you so much for all of that, and thanks for coming out.
Yeah, thank you guys. What you guys do for the kids in the area is awesome, and I appreciate it a lot.
And I appreciate you always sending me a text even when you lose.
Oh, absolutely.
Coach, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Head coach Derek O'Hara for the Conotton Valley Rockets here on your Caleb Fell Real Estate Team postseason show. Coming up, we are going to welcome in another guest. We don't know which one quite yet, so you have to stay tuned for that. We're gonna figure it out. That's that communication we were talking about. Yeah. We'll be back soon.
The First National Bank of Denison appreciates the hard work and dedication area athletes exhibit to be the best they can be for their team. We follow that same philosophy with our customers, working hard to build personal relationships and making our services convenient. The First National Bank of Denison's community involvement is important to us, and we love supporting our local schools. The First National Bank of Denison, with offices in Denison, Dover, Janate and Hutton, South Broadway, and Schunbrunn and New Philadelphia. We have our roots where others have their branches. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Novelis Uriksville is the world leader in aluminum recycling, and they need you. They have immediate openings for general laborers, equipment operators, and various skilled trade positions. They'll start you at $22 per hour or higher. There are advancement opportunities, and Novelis offers industry-leading benefits. To apply or find out more, go to novelis.com/careers and search Uriksville. That's novelis.com/careers and search Uriksville. Novelis is an equal opportunity employer.
Fell can sell. When you choose the Caleb Fell Real Estate Team, you can count on local expertise, terrific communication, an expert negotiator on your side, and detail-oriented service throughout the process. Real estate does not have to be difficult or stressful. Choose a team that will make the process quick, easy, and professional start to finish. Whether you are ready to buy or ready to sell, make sure you call Caleb Fell with the Caleb Fell Real Estate Team.
Hi, I'm Zach Motice with the Tuscarawas Insurance Agency. For all your auto, home, farm, and business insurance needs, contact our team at the Tuscarawas Insurance Agency or stop in and see us at one of our 3 locations in Sugar Creek, Strasburg, and downtown New Philadelphia, providing excellent service to the Tuscarawas Valley since 1885. Everyone here at the Tuscarawas Insurance Agency would like to wish all area athletes and teams good luck.
Welcome back to the Caleb Fell Real Estate Wrap-Up Show. Joining my buddy, my fellow alum, Travis McClellan. By the way, you can hear us Friday night as we got the Dover Tornadoes and the Highland Hawks.
That's right.
The state Final Four Highland Hawks coming into BBK Court on Friday night.
That's right.
Be a good time.
Be a great time. 3 Dover alums up here.
3 Dover alums. You didn't let me get to that yet.
False start.
But false start on you.
Yeah.
But we had quite a few Dover alums in here.
We did.
There's still one over there that has to go yet.
This is one of my favorite ones right here.
I know. Listen, we've had many. I enjoyed your interview. You guys talking about the grass and everything. Whenever on the pregame show, I was in Florida.
Yeah.
And watching, at my Chiefs conference, and that was so cool. But anyway, welcome into the Extra Point Show. Chris Gale, Travis McClellan joining you from the Pointe Dining in New Philadelphia. Did you get some food, Coach?
Absolutely. It's fantastic. Thank you for
It's
that.
always good. And you know what we do here. I love being able – this is one of our favorite nights. I keep saying it to every coach. When you can see guys sit around and just talk about life, not necessarily about football, but, hey, what was your experiences? Or, hey, how's the holidays? Hey, how's the family? I love having all of our coaches get together and just talk. It's so cool.
It's awesome. It's a great thing you guys do, and it's exciting, and it's fun to look forward to it, and we enjoy it as much as you guys do.
And if I would have had any say in anything, Coach Mo very well could have been our Coach of the Year.
Absolutely.
For what he did at Strasburg. And listen, you and Casey Cummings do so much with what you have. It doesn't matter if you have 18 kids or you have 60 kids. You still put kids on the football field to learn lifelong lessons and to play hard no matter what. And that's what you did this year at Strasburg. You guys finish up the year 3-7 on your second stint, as head coach and Coach Jim Morris. First half of the season, first 2 games, you probably thought, man, why did I come back? But then the third game of the season, you realized why you come back, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it's been wonderful. I tell you, I got to thank you for the compliment. I guess I'm harder on myself than I would think, and being on the inside, not seeing it from the outside. We did make some progress, and
absolutely.
And we did kind of run into a couple meat grinders in Rittman and Canton Central or Steubenville Central Catholic, and the kids learned from that, and they built, and luckily we got one at Latonia, and it was an exciting win. We had to make a stop on the 1-yard line on 4th down to win the game, and the kids found a place to put their feet and believed in what we were saying and doing, and they ended up getting the W.
And I think we talked to him. It was you and I that interviewed him on the phone after that first win, too. And that was special for both of us.
Yeah, I made it back to the studio, and, real special. And I told this guy long ago that his impact isn't with X's and O's. It's how he relates to kids. Yep. And I owe him a lot to my high school career, keeping me sane.
You're easy.
But we talked about in the preseason, Coach, about building this brick by brick, and to build where you want to go, it takes a foundation, and that's what you're doing up there. You're getting kids to buy in. I don't want to use this term too loosely, but you're a player's coach. You're going to have the kids gravitate to you. There's no question in my mind you're going to build this thing. They just got to give you time, but I personally think your biggest strength is your people and how you draw people in. So talk about like the community, the family aspect up there at Strasburg, and we'll get into the X's and O's later.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have done it if it wasn't that way. The community is so full of pride in what those kids do, and they're quick to support. I couldn't have done it without the people that worked on the field, that did it in the press box, that just the people that supported us no matter what. And that even, community, parents, administration, they've just been so wonderful, and the kids feel that love. And when you have that kind of support and love, it makes things really easy.
Yeah, so this is your second stint back at Strasburg as the head coach. What's something you learned from round 1 to round 2?
Oh, great question. Why do you always ask hard questions? Come on, man.
I try to.
That's his job.
I'm supposed to have these softball questions.
That's what we pay him for.
He throws the softballs. I throw the curveballs.
I'll tell you, the biggest thing that I'm learning is how to reach the kids.
Okay.
The kids are full of pride, and they want to play hard, and they want to practice hard. They're just not used to doing it. They're not. And I don't want to say they're not watching football or whatever, but they're not watching it like it used to be. There's so many other things out there that we have to fight, and so many other distractions. Yep. And the hardest part is just getting them to tune that other junk out and focus on what we got to do for 2 hours.
For 2 hours.
And you really got to learn to win. And you got to learn that. And that goes through the bumps, the morning liftings, all that. You got to learn to win, and you win on the backs of the guys that came before you.
Right.
And so you got to build it up.
No, without a doubt.
And we talked about, we just talked with Coach O'Hara about, the Kirtlands of the world, right? As soon as they're done with their 6th trip to the state championship game and their 3rd state championship, they're back in the weight room on Monday morning.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what programs have to do. So the kids that sit in our community and they wake up during Christmas break and they wake up in February and they're not in the gym, and then look at why they win 2 games or no games, or why they're not on the field winning games or playing at all, is because of that reason and that work ethic, right?
And football's hard. Football's hard. It's hard physically, hard mentally. You start in the summer when it's hot and people aren't playing football or at the pool and hanging out, and so it's a commitment. And so, it's one of those things, but, he's going to build it the right way. I'd bet my house on it.
And there's no doubt. And here's the difference, right? Coach Mo is one of those guys. You talked about molding your career.
Sure.
Well, he had a part in my daughters. He had a part in my sisters. So it goes beyond us, right? And that's just what it is.
Yep.
And that's why he's so sought after.
Sure.
Right? Because the guy can coach anything.
Yep.
You give him softball, give him baseball, give him track,
basketball,
whatever.
basketball.
So, but I'm just being serious. I
Right.
know, you know what I mean? We're not trying to, put you up here, but we are putting you up there because that's, it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. I really do. I mean, I think a lot of it is just because I'm old. I mean,
We're all old,
when
Coach.
when you've been around as long as I have, and I think, looking around the coaches that are in here, I got most of them by at least 10 years, if not more. So, I mean, I never thought I'd be sitting here being the old guy of the group. But, that's such great compliments, and I really do appreciate it. But, a lot of that is that long. And I know you do. I know you do.
Yeah.
And I'm very grateful.
Back to the X's and O's.
Sure.
After the Latonia win, you played Connaughton Valley in a game that you probably felt like you should have won, correct?
I think so. I mean, they played a really nice game. It could have gone either way, but there were plays out there that I think that one more year experience, and we make them.
Tusky Valley, it's weird to say Tusky Valley was a freight train in the first half of their season. When they turned around and beat some teams, we were like, oh, okay, they got it, right? So Tusky Valley was in the same situation that you were in this year a couple years ago.
Right.
And now head coach Greg Dickerhoof has built his program. He's got some of the athletes that are knowing what to do now. The communication's great. They're winning football games.
Well, they are, and they're in year one with Coach Mo,
right?
And they're learning a new system. They're learning his way, the Strasburg way.
Yep.
They're changing from the last few years, and so in those close games, there's a small, minute number of plays that change the whole football game that maybe they didn't make in a couple games. The Latonia game, they obviously made it. A couple other games was there. They got to learn to do that, and I'm sure they will progress in year two. They learn in your system. They're learning how he wants to do things, and that's how you move your football team down the field.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. And these can't win on the road. That was a big one.
That was a big one. That was an exciting win. Defense again had to pull through. We got the interception for a touchdown to start the scoring off.
Yep.
And what was most impressive was we went on a 6-minute drive to win the game. And that was the building block. And I think that was the game where the kids finally said, you know what? We're buying in.
We get it.
This is working. We understand. And Gage Moore did it. He manufactured that drive, and Ryan Becker made a huge catch in the end zone to win the game, and we had to stop them. I mean, they came right back down the field, and we got a great interception from Derek Rissler, and that sealed the victory. And I think our kids bought in on that time. I mean, they really wow, we can play.
Yeah. What a senior leader
they
Rissler
gotta
was for you, right?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. All 5 of my seniors were wonderful
Talk
kids.
about them, Coach. Please talk about them.
Well, I mean, it starts with the 2 big kids up front with Alex Burkett and Drake Reifenschneider. Both those guys,
Drake, man.
Yep. We had to count on them big time, and Drake and both Alex were good enough that they could switch spots on defense. When we needed a speed rusher, we put Alex at nose and Drake went to the end. If teams ran wide, we switched them up, and they both made impacts that way. Luke Tucker was an outstanding linebacker and played guard for us, and he led the team in tackles. He had an interception for the first time in his career this year, which he was so excited about. Just a great football player. Just played hard every down. And then obviously Derek Rissler was huge in our back end and also as a receiver. And then Matt Cox, who was outstanding, being at every practice, even though he knew he wasn't getting on the field.
Yeah.
And being just a part of it, being the other team's best running back or wide receiver or DB or linebacker, whatever it took, he was there to do that. And those kind of kids bought in, and that helped the younger kids come around.
Before my next question, Coach Mo, I do want to go back to the East Canton thing for a minute.
Okay,
that's just not a win. Coach Spider Miller is a good football coach.
Without a doubt.
Been around a long time.
I remember him from being the offensive coordinator of those McKinley teams that went back-to-back titles in the late 90s. I mean, the guy can coach some football, so that win is huge. But I want to ask you about the last win of the season. You won that last game. How is that to prepare you into going into your off-season program?
Oh, without a doubt, that is exciting. When you can finish the season, and granted, everybody wants to make the playoffs.
Sure.
But there's going to be one team in the state of Ohio that's going to finish the season with a W.
Yep.
And everybody else is going to go home with an L. So on the bright side, we won Week 10. It was very important for our morale. It was very important for what we were doing. That game we actually clicked offensively and defensively really well, and the special teams played. I mean, we played all facets of the game. And when we got back to the stadium, we always go and ring the bell if we have a victory. And I'll never forget the one kid just turned to us and said, "You know what? I think we rang this bell this year than we have in the last 4 years I've been here."
And you're right.
And that was something that, I never thought of it that way. And,
Sure.
and they're just really fired up. The weight room is going really well right now.
Good.
And our numbers up to around 30, so I'm
Good.
really excited about it.
Well, that's a testament to the kids, to the coaching staff, and the community keeping them bought in. And they win that last game, and the momentum carries you in the off season, and they're starting to believe. It sounds like, which is great.
Yeah, I believe so, and the coaching staff did a really great job of getting them to do that. I am so lucky to have the guys that I have. They just work so hard and believe, and they love the kids, and that's really great.
Before I let Trav ask you about the schedule, I want to ask you about returners. Gage Moore will be a junior next year. You got him back. Kaiser Thomas only going to be a sophomore. You've got Parker Edwards going to be a senior leader next year. Ryan Becker only going to be a sophomore. Talk about, I know you lose 5 seniors, but talk about what you're returning and what you're excited about.
Well, I'm just excited about the energy and the excitement that they have. I mean, top to bottom, we have a really good 8th grade class coming in that have been successful. I think they'll battle for playing time, even though I'm still a firm believer that as many freshmen as you start, that's how many losses you're going to have. And we started 5 freshmen this year, and so it did that. But
not too far from that, Coach.
I'm looking at all our skill except for one kid was either sophomore or freshman. Our center was a freshman. I'm excited about all those kids. We do have some big shoes to fill. We're going to have to find a guard and a tackle for Alex and Drake, but I think we'll find somebody to fill that spot. And I'm going to find, I think we have a linebacker that will fill for Luke, and won't miss a beat that way. So we're really excited. The energy level has just been outstanding, and that's what drives me.
That's great. Coach, we're going to jump into the 2024 schedule here. Let's run, obviously, the IVC North is a bear. You got Malvern up there, and you got Newcomerstown, Buckeye Trail, a really good football school. But let's hit your 24 schedule up real quick.
Not much changes, I believe, as of this moment. Now, you know how that can kind of go, but as far as I know, our biggest one is going to be Ridgewood's, our crossover game next year. So, and
you get them at home, I hope.
No, I think we're on the road.
You get to go to West LA.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that'll be a battle for us. But
Yeah.
everything else down the road, I think, is pretty much the same.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to seeing how we compare this year than we did last year.
That'll be a great test, though, because you go down there and you know what that atmosphere is like down
Sure,
there. It's
sure.
it's bonkers. It's bananas.
Yeah.
And for a team to go in and experience that, you'll grow from it, win or lose.
That'll be a good litmus test.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, we'll definitely see how strong we're going to be throughout the winter to play in that game. We're also going to see how much quicker we're going to be, and I don't know if we'll be able to match up because he's going to be very talented. But I think our kids will compete because they competed all year long. And the score doesn't show it, but they didn't quit.
Well, Coach, we thank you so much for always joining us, opening up your program. Not just this past year, but your whole coaching career that's affected our lives in more ways than one.
Yep.
And we know that you're building great young men, and that's what really counts in the grand scheme of things. Is after they get done on a football field, that they're great members of our community, and you do that, and we appreciate everything you do.
Well, I appreciate everything you guys do. I mean, this is outstanding, and we look forward to it. And you guys are a class act. You do great work.
Appreciate it.
Thanks,
and
Coach.
Tell Megs we said hello,
Yep, without
and
doubt.
Merry Christmas to you and your family.
Thank
all right.
You too.
Yep.
You
Thanks,
too.
Coach.
Thank you so much.
That is head coach
guys.
Jim Morris of the Strasburg
Appreciate it.
Tigers. And when we return, more coaches, more awards right after this on Claxon Communications and Big Z Sports.
This is RJ Jacobs from DAC Vitamins and Minerals. Did you know that DAC Vitamins and Minerals has more than 40 proven equine supplements that include daily multivitamins, joint, digestion, reproduction and fertility, calming, and many other specialty products, DAC also carries a complete line of livestock products called DAC Show Contender. Feed DAC vitamins and minerals to get the competitive edge in the show pen. We've been feeding champions since 1983.
TMK Valley Propane is embracing remote tank monitors. Are you tired of going outside to check your propane tank or forget to order your propane on time? TMK Valley Propane now provides reliable remote tank monitoring technology. Let TMK Valley Propane take the worry away, provide timely delivery, and never run out of propane again. Thank you for your trust in TMK Valley Propane.
All the way with TMK, service with a personal touch.
This is Jordan Hartzler. At Hartzler's Quality Housing, our goal is to help customers achieve the dream of home ownership. We have been a family-owned, affordable housing business for over 40 years. We value our customers and have the knowledge and experience to help you walk through the home buying process from start to finish.
Conveniently located just off I-77 in New Philadelphia, stop by and browse their model homes or learn more by visiting hartzlers.com. Wood Electric has been trusted with all of your electrical needs for over 30 years. They are the place to call for residential, commercial, and industrial work. Wood Electric is available 24 hours a day and ready to help with any electrical problem, outage, or installation. Wood Electric, serving Tuscarawas County and beyond since 1988. Like Wood Electric on Facebook or find them online at woodelectric.net.
In the rolling hills of Holmes County, we tend to do things a bit differently. At Kime, we're in the business of uncommon experiences, and we're here to care for your project like we care for our own. We believe that quality matters and want to help you get it right the first time, because your project deserves it. So visit Kime Home Center, your source and destination for all things home, building, and woodworking. Kime, built on trust since 1911.
This is Carly Mills. At First Federal Community Bank, our mission is to empower the financial well-being of our community one person at a time. Through integrity and quality, we earn the trust of our customers and exceed their expectations. First Federal Community Bank, investing in our community since 1898. Serving your banking needs in Dover, New Philadelphia, Yorksville, Sugar Creek, Berlin, and Mount Hope. First Federal Community Bank, member FDIC.
Welcome back to the Pointe Dining in New Philadelphia. Joe Geckler, Nick McWilliams. We are in the 2023 season wrap-up show thanks to the Caleb Fell real estate team, and we are happy to welcome in head coach of the New Philadelphia Quakers, Mike Johnson. And Coach, man, you just finished season number 3, and time flies. We've been sitting over the table talking a little bit about how fast the football season goes, and some coach said earlier tonight, he goes, what do you mean it goes fast? I've been going at this since last December, and now the season's over, and I'm getting ready to do it again. So
that's right.
Season's never end for you guys. But looking back on the 2023 season, you guys finished up at 6-5. You got a 16 seed in the region and ran into Ursuline. But you know what? Let's talk about the regular season first.
Okay.
You started off with the win against Louisville. You went down to Steubenville and fell short down there, and then Worcester, Ashland. You jumped into league play, and obviously that the game at the end. But we'll talk about that in a minute. But you know, the first half of your schedule, you really learned a lot about your team.
Oh, yeah, definitely we did. We had a lot of guys kind of step up. We weren't sure what we were going to have in this previous offseason. As we were getting moving, we're hopeful. We talked to our seniors like, hey, we need you to step up. Let's see what you guys can do. And some of them did in ways that it was like you were shocked. You're like, wow, I didn't know that guy had that in him. I was hoping he did.
Yep.
And then they delivered. And we had a good core group of senior leaders that were able to lead us, and some underclassmen that really helped push us. And that's what it's all about. So finding out who your guys are, how you can be successful with those guys, and I'm really proud of our team for what they were able to accomplish.
Obviously, the first win of the season was Louisville. Then you traveled down to Steubenville. What did you learn about your guys after that game?
Well, we didn't give up. I mean, I think that's one of the big things. Like the Louisville game, we came out, we were a little sharper than I thought we were going to be, and it was a great outing. It was one of those offenses that was like, wow, everything started to click. And I'm like, well, we have some potential here.
Sure.
defensively, I thought we played pretty well in that Steubenville game. We were able to stay in it. At one point, it was a one-score game there in the third quarter, late in the third quarter, before they ended up scoring one more to kind of put it out of reach. But it was a physical game, and our kids weren't backing down from anything, and that's what you want from them. And when you go down to a place like Death Valley, it's not always the most welcoming place, but our kids stepped in. And they competed at a high level, and that's what it's all about. And you guys, I think I watched when you guys you had Indian Valley at Steubenville, the playoff game, and like I mean they're a good team. Sure. I think they played in the week 13. I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, calling it not a fun place to play or not a welcoming place is maybe an understatement for anybody who's never been there.
But it's also it is unique because. You go down there, you compete. One year we were fortunate to go down there and win, and that doesn't happen often. And that's one that you remember because it's a special time. Because if you can go in and against all odds overcome, that's always a good story.
If I remember, the last couple of times they've been beat at home was Joe Burrow.
Yep.
And Barron May.
Those
are the two
guys.
quarterbacks that beat him in the last 10 years.
I know, and I have a favorite of those two.
Oh, I'm sure you do. I mean, I think we all do, you know. And good to see him. Hopefully heals well from his injury, and he'll get back after it.
Oh, without a doubt.
Now, I know I asked you this. It was after a win during the season, and I think it just kind of continued throughout the year. And it's always something that I think has been fun with the Quakers over the past few seasons. It really seems like you guys – especially if you look at it on paper, you might not blow anybody out of the water in specific areas, but it seems like New Philadelphia has this ability over the past few years, and especially this last year, to find the ways to win, to grind them out. And, it doesn't necessarily have to be one guy who's stepping up in a huge way to do it. So has that kind of been the philosophy through these 3 years?
I think so. I think we've had different years where we've had maybe that was the running back that was a little stronger. Like this year, like Edney Richardson was unbelievable.
For as little as he is, that dude runs like he's 220.
Oh, my gosh, yeah. He's
one of our award finalists.
Yeah. He's a strong kid. He's a physical kid, and he had a heck of a good year. You got Edney stepping up. Edney got banged up a little bit as the season went on because we ran him so much. Sure. And then you had Keaton Fossil kind of pick it up. So exactly what you said is 100% correct. When we look at, I think it was Madison Comprehensive, it was a tight game. Etney's out, and then next thing you know, Keaton goes 77 yards for a touchdown run. And it's those type of events. Or even Lexington the next week, Pete DiDonato catches a touchdown pass. Carson Long catches a touchdown pass. Against Ashland, Owen Shellis caught a fade for a touchdown. So we had different guys step up. A lot of guys caught the ball. A lot of guys made plays, and that's what it's about. And then defensively, we had those guys in the middle were unbelievable. But a lot of new starters and made a lot of good plays.
Well, one of the good signs is for our offensive, defensive, and specialists, and for our MVP award, you guys have a candidate on every single list, which is maybe kind of shows into that. How about you get people stepping up on both sides of the ball?
I mean, really, and I think that's a testament to our kids. One of the things that we did when we switched up our defense was we wanted not get kids to not play both sides, but to find where we get them breaks. So we had some kids kind of specialize a little bit more, but it's been tremendous to see the buy-in from our players and just the results that they've been able to accomplish.
When you have that, what we call dudes, you have that dude and you don't want to take him off the field, how hard is it not to play him both ways?
Well, you got to find a spot to rest them.
Sure.
And I think that's one of the hardest parts, because if you do have that dude, well, where's he playing on offense?
Sure.
That's really important.
Yeah.
But then also, like on defense, like Zach Rothrock and Jaden Bolts had a great year.
Yep.
One was first team All-Ohio, Zach Rothrock.
Yep.
And Jaden was second team All-Ohio. So, like, those guys were great on defense. Like, Jaden's a pretty good running back. But we had another good running back.
Sure.
And then you got Zach could have been a great fullback for us. But we had a sophomore who stepped up and did some great things. And I think that just helps those guys on defense be fresh and have the success that they did.
Obviously, we'll only mention this once, but let's talk about Week 9 and Week 10. Heartbreaker Week 9 at home against West Holmes on the final play of the game. And then you lost Week 10 rivalry game. But, What do you tell your team after a game like the Dover game, like the West Holmes game? Is, hey, you're right there. I mean, West Holmes literally beat you in the last play of the game. There was nothing else to be played after.
I mean, really, and I know you guys already talked to Zach and Morgan, and they do a great job out there at West Holmes. But, with 5 seconds left there, that's a game. It's all on the line for one last second play.
Fourth
it's fourth down.
Oh, yeah.
In the goal line. Let's go out and make a play.
Yep.
And to their credit, they did. But those are moments that make you feel alive. Those are the moments where there's joy in it. You are excited to play. It's a play, and it's going to be us or them. Let's go do it. And to be in those situations is something that's pretty special. Unfortunately, it didn't go our way. The previous year we won a couple like that.
Sure.
And when it goes your way, it's a lot more fun than when it doesn't. But that's what you play the game for. And then after a West Holmes game, it's a gut wrencher. It's a gut punch.
For
but
sure.
When you got week 10 the next week, it's not incredibly difficult.
It's like
to
a
get
different
your guys
season,
motivated
though.
again.
Week 10 is like a different season.
Oh my gosh, it really is.
Yeah.
You have so many events taking place, whether it's pep rallies, whether it's luncheons. There's
the
dress up days.
Oh,
It's the breakfast. It is a neat event for all those kids. It's a neat week for all those kids. And you're right. It's a different season.
Sure.
Looking into the playoffs for you guys, when we saw when the drawings came out and you guys knew you were going to be taking on the gauntlet continued basically with Ursuline naturally. So what did you feel about with your team heading into that playoff matchup? It would have been easy for everybody to just kind of go, it's Ursuline. But, I mean, just judging by what we've seen from New Philadelphia year in and year out, I'm sure everybody was working incredibly hard, and I'm sure it had to be admirable to watch that hard work that those kids were putting in leading up to the playoffs.
Yeah, it really is. And really, when you look at, getting excited to play in Ursuline, everybody in our region, it's a good region.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good region. If I'll pull it up and just look through it, and you're like, oh, my gosh, we have the opportunity to play any of those. The last 3 years, we played the state champs.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's that type of game is not a game that's new to us. We played Chardon my first year as head coach there. We played Canfield that year. We played Chardon in the playoffs the next year, and Canfield, and they are great football teams. And I think it's a good way to gauge where you're at. And to make the playoffs is still an honor. They let more teams in now, which is the way it is, and that's fine. But it's still an honor. Not every team makes it, and then you got to know that that's pretty special, and you got to make it special for your team. But then also, we went and played up at Youngstown State. That place is unbelievable. That was my first time I've ever been there, and it was cool to get off the bus. You check it out. And then you compete against great players.
Sure.
And early on, the first quarter, they were up 7-0. Second quarter, things got a little bit out of hand there as they made some plays. But our guys, the spirit of our guys, really shone through on our way into the locker room. Even though things weren't going well, we had some senior captains kind of rooting everybody on, picking them up as they went in there. Like, hey, let's go. Let's go. Keep your heads up. Let's go. And that's one of the things that's the mentality that we want.
Obviously, that was the last game for this senior class.
Yes.
Talk to us about your seniors and what they mean to your program.
The seniors are always the ones that have the opportunity to take it over, and it should be their team every year. And early on, I wasn't sure if this class was one that was that was willing to do that. And in December, it was kind of, hey, it's whoever's team's going to step up, and those guys, to their credit, really did. They took that to heart, and I'm proud of them for that, because that's what we expect. We expect to be led by seniors every single year. We hope to have juniors and sophomores who can maybe help out here and there, but we want to be a senior-based team because those are your guys who have been around, they've been working, they grew up in the program, and to have guys who can step up and do it's been awesome.
Good. And speaking of with that senior class, we know you guys have more than a few that are graduating now, and looking ahead with how the next class has to step up. What do you guys tell the ones who are outgoing to try to help maybe from player to player get those juniors and sophomores ready to go for that next step?
Well, I think part of that culture is kind of built in your weight room, and we have guys kind of on their way out who kind of step back and move those other kids in and cheer them on a little bit. And I think it's a good, I guess, maybe tip of the cap to, hey, here you go. It's your time now.
The keys to the car.
Let's go do
yours.
it. That's it. That's exactly right.
Well, Coach, looking at the 2024 schedule, I know coaches don't like looking ahead, but anything change on your schedule next year? Stay the same?
Yeah, actually, Mount Vernon Week 6 is out.
Okay.
They have left the league. So as they leave the league, we're looking for somebody new.
Week 6. That's a little tough. That's like right in the middle of the year, Coach. Like, how easy is that going to be?
It's not easy. we're definitely looking, and we're gonna find somebody. But that's the only real change. Other than that, all the ones that are home are now away, and
there you go.
And life is good. But yeah, we'll find somebody and we'll make it work.
Awesome. Well, Coach, man, as always, thanks so much for giving us the access to your program, coming out in 2 days, and we got to go out there that was week 4 against Ashland. Got to call a game out there, and I know we'll be back again next year. And I think there's a team coming from out east to your place next year.
Yeah, so. Week 2 that'll be awesome.
So we'll see what happens with our schedule, of course, but always opening the doors for us. We appreciate it.
Well, we love having you guys. We love the promotion you have for our players and all the local programs. What WTUZ does is tremendous, and we're lucky to have you guys, the pillar of our community.
Well,
so
we appreciate it. Thanks, Coach. Again, that's Mike Johnson, head coach of the New Philadelphia Quakers, joining us here on our Extra Point and our wrap-up show here, thanks to the Caleb Fell real estate team at Pointe Dining. Take a break. Be back after this with Big Z Sports.
PAC Drilling, a family-owned and operated company since 2005 in Bolivar, takes pride in being an economic oil and gas drilling company. PAC's objective is to contribute to American energy independence through profitable development, operation, and marketing of oil and natural gas wells. PAC also employs operating technicians to oversee each and every well drilled to maximize its productivity and longevity. Contact PAC Drilling at pacdrilling.com.
Is your vehicle banged up? Do you want fast, professional service to get you back on the road? This is Garrett Jacobs with AutoWorks Collision Center. We service cars, trucks, SUVs, and even semi-trucks and RVs. Whether you need auto glass replacement, paintless dent repair, assistance with warranty and insurance, or just a free estimate, AutoWorks has you covered. We even offer alignments for your heavy-duty vehicles like buses, motorhomes, and semis with our state-of-the-art Hunter alignment system. Call 330-878-4223. Open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. Let AutoWorks of Strasburg work for you.
The certified public accountants at Niedenthal & Company believe in the value of relationships. Niedenthal & Company has been in business for over 50 years in your community, helping individuals and businesses grow. Niedenthal & Company can help manage and prepare your payroll, plan your estate, and prepare your business and personal income taxes. Stop into the Niedenthal facility on North Worcester Avenue in Dover and become a valued client today.
Dr. Nathan Springer is in the business of making smiles, specializing in braces and Invisalign for children and adults. Dr. Springer provides smiles that can be recognized anywhere. Just look at the winning smile on some of the players. Compliments of Dr. Nathan Springer Orthodontics. Hey, that smile of pride on the face of mom and dad might be from Dr. Springer too. Dr. Nathan Springer Orthodontics, in the business of making smiles, at 107 Ray Avenue Northeast in New Philadelphia.
Planning your next vacation or home improvement project and worried about managing expenses? CSB can help with that. Setting a goal is the first step to achieving your vision, and CSB's Money Manager tool helps you get started. Whether you are recovering from Christmas spending or preparing to send kids to college, the Personal Financial Management tool helps you set goals, track your spending, and monitor your progress. Money Manager is available within CSB's online banking. Check it out today. The Commercial and Savings Bank, member FDIC.
Welcome back to the Big Z Sports Wrap-Up Show at Pointe Dining in New Philadelphia. brought to you by the Caleb Bell Real Estate Team, Joe Geckler, Nick McWilliams, and we're happy to be joined by Newcomerstown head coach Dirk Gadd. And Coach, man, season number 7 in the books for you, and another great year for the Trojans. You guys finish up at 7-5, 3-2 in the IBC. And let's rewind a little bit and go back a couple months. I mean, when it was warmer, we were all wearing shorts and T-shirts and not hoodies and coats. You start off with 3 big wins in the first half of the season. You had Bern Union, Bellsville, Conotton Valley. Then you had Barnesville, Martins Ferry, which you took 2 losses there. And then you got back in the win column in the second half as you started the conference play. But how did the first half of that season get you ready for your conference?
Our first 3 games kind of, went the way that we wanted them to go. We came out, we ran the football those 3 games, and we ran it pretty well. Bern Union, it's always nice to open up the season with a win. We had a running clock in that game, so, we were off to a good start. We went down or over or wherever Bellsville is, somewhere
over there.
Yeah,
right?
somewhere over there.
Over the rainbow.
Bellsville was actually a much improved football team from the year before. They won, quite a few games. I believe they were in the playoffs this year.
Didn't you beat them like 60-something to nothing the year before at home?
It was something like that.
But I think we did that game.
We did it, and it was a lot to not a lot.
It was a beating,
I know. I think they started the season off 5-1 with one of their only loss. Their only loss was to us. So they were a much improved football team.
Okay.
A lot more physical than they were the year before. So credit to them. But still, we got a nice win. We shut them out in that game. So that was a big game for our defense. And then we played at Conotton Valley. We had a little bit of adversity that week with some things that were going on. So wasn't sure how that game was going to go. And we came out, and I think we put close to 50 up in the first half of that football game. So, that might have been our best half of football that we played the entire season. And then we ran into a buzzsaw at Barnesville.
Yeah, they were pretty good, Coach.
Oh, they were really good. Which it was a good game for us as far as it humbled us a little bit, showed us that we had a lot of things we still needed to work on. I was just that whole environment at Barnesville was just crazy. And then, we went into the Martins Ferry game. It was a game I knew was going to be a tough game. I knew it was going to be a tough game when I put them on the schedule. I knew it was a game, though, that was going to prepare us for conference play. We ended up losing by 10 to them, but we dug ourselves a hole in that game. I think, we do that game over. I think there's some things I would have done differently, and I think we could have maybe had a little better results in that one. So that's pretty much how the first part of the season went for us.
Well, we know that not everything will go perfect all the time, no matter what sport it is or no matter how good of a team you guys are. But I remember when we did, it was the East Canton game that we came down and did with you guys, and it was Coach Spider Miller for them. We asked him about taking on Newcomerstown and the offense that you guys present. He goes, we know all the plays they're going to run. It's just whether or not we can stop it is the real problem. It's incredible, but it seems like that's the answer that we get from any team that's playing you guys. They kind of know what's coming on offense, but it's still so hard to stop. And I think that is a huge credit to how you guys execute and how much we watched you during the 2-a-day period. How much is that execution side drilled in and out constantly?
Yeah, the good thing about when you only have like 10 plays in your playbook is you get to practice them a lot. So you get really good at those plays.
Just like Novocaine, Coach.
Yeah, so we get a lot of reps at those, and honestly, every time we rep it in practice, any of those plays, we always see something that we could have done better. So I'm kind of, amazed at these teams that have these huge playbooks, and I don't know how they get through all those plays in a practice. So, we keep things simple, and we pride ourselves on what's coming, and you have to stop it. It usually works out for us, at least it has the past couple years here. But what I've found is, the further you get into the season and into the playoffs, you run into some teams that if they know what you're running, they can stop it. So we got some work to do in that department.
That's with anyone, though. That's not just with you guys. That's with anyone. And you see teams that, like you said, they know what pass is coming or they know what run's coming, and nothing you can do.
Right.
Well, and that's kind of why I wanted to segue into the second half of the season then, because you guys took on that East Canton team, and it was really dominant performance, from top to bottom. You guys do this year in and year out, it seems, with smaller senior classes, as we have already said, only 3 seniors this year, and so many underclassmen who step up in huge ways. I know you have quite a few of them this year, do they?
Yeah, I was just telling some of the other coaches, I would like us to be able to play a JV schedule. We haven't been able to play a JV schedule in a while. And we have some young kids like Tanner Smith, who's a sophomore, and
Which is hard to believe.
Martin Hernandez, a freshman. Dom Singer, one of our starters in the backfield, that is also a sophomore. You're talking kids that if they're playing a JV schedule, they're having a lot of success at the varsity level. If they're playing a JV schedule, their confidence is really going up because
they get to run those plays even more.
Right.
Yeah.
So we have some young players that they contributed last year as freshmen even. So I never thought that you could win with kids that young until last year when we won 8 games with I think 19 freshmen and sophomores or something crazy like that. So we have some young kids that can play.
Well, Joe, I want you to take the next question, but I just have to say, if you didn't see Martin Hernandez in person,
I saw him.
I was there with Coach to give him the hat during school. And what did I say to you, Coach? I said, "There's no way that kid's a freshman."
Right. I mean, he's one of our most physical kids, which it's rare for a freshman to come in and be one of your most physical kids. And we put him at the fullback position, which that's a very selfless position and a lot of kick-out blocks and, sacrificing your body for your teammates. You can't just put anyone there. And, Martin, he was tough enough and we could put him in there, so we're expecting big things from him.
Coach, obviously you don't have many to talk about. 3 of them, the seniors that came through this program the last 4 years, what they did for you as a coach, what they did for the program.
Yeah, we had Landon Castile. He played on our offensive line for us, which, our offensive line has really been what has carried us the past few years, so we're definitely going to miss Landon. Watson Elder, he was our utility guy. He played a lot on offense, but he could play almost any position. We had him at tight end. We had him at guard. We had him at inside linebacker, outside linebacker. We had put that kid everywhere over all the seasons. We had moved him around. And then Bryson Brickles, a kid that hadn't played football since 8th grade, came to Newcomerstown to play with his brother Brody.
Okay.
He really contributed this year for us in the secondary. I'm not sure, what it would have been like if we didn't have him, so we're definitely going to miss him as well.
Obviously, a lot of adversity this year. We won't talk about things that happened to you guys, but, you guys seem like you overcome a lot of that adversity and still pulled out the 7 wins in the regular season when you very easily could have said, man, what else is going to happen to us? What can you relate that to as your kids not giving up?
Our kids are very resilient, and, I learned that in my first couple of years when we didn't win a football game in the first 2 years. And it's like how the kids just continued to show up to practice and work hard and, have positive attitudes, and it just showed how resilient they are. So now when adversity hits, I see that same resiliency. And now that they've had success, I think they're even a little better at handling, when adversity does show up. So, that's what I'd contribute to that.
We have I'm just finding it on the list. One of the Defensive Player of the Year candidates that we had for you guys is another one who's just Mr. Do-It-All, it seems. Carter McConnell, at linebacker and at fullback, running back, or wherever it is he finds himself in your offense. I mean, it just seemed like Carter, especially for a guy who's been playing, he started as a freshman, did he not?
Yes, he did.
Now heading into his 4th year, I mean, I'm sure you guys are expecting big things out of him again.
Yeah, I remember watching Carter play in junior high. He'd rush off the edge. They had him playing outside linebacker, and he was just punishing quarterbacks when he was in junior high, and I knew this kid was going to be special, and he's done a lot of things for us. Even, defensively he's an animal, but he's really carried the ball for us and done a nice job. I watch film, and you just see guys get out of his way. They're there. They could make the tackle, but they're like, they only do that one time, and they're like, okay, maybe I'm just going to step aside on this one. So Carter's a really hard-nosed kid, and, we're looking for a big senior year out of him.
So in 2024, anything new on the schedule? Anything change?
We picked up Toronto. We no longer have Barnesville on the schedule. They had to move some games around because they joined a new league.
Okay.
You guys will be so disappointed not to have them.
Yeah, I'm not sad to see those guys go, but we pick up a Toronto team that is kind of a I don't know if there's much of a drop-off there with the Barnesville-Toronto thing. I don't know as much about Toronto as I do Barnesville, but I know they have a pretty good football team. And then Martins Ferry was only a 1-year deal for us, so now we have Claymont for the next 2 years.
Okay.
So, that's our crossover game for the next couple years.
That could be a fun one.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
it could be. Yeah, and then do you know where you play Claymont next year? Is it home or away?
I'm not sure where we play them next year, to be honest with you.
So looks like a good competition, and of course you have the competition on the IVC North to play as well. Obviously those games don't change except for where they were played the year before. So you'll have East Canton away, you'll be at home for TCC, at Malvern, you'll be home for Strasburg, and then finish up at Buckeye Trail.
Yep.
So, well, man, as always, I know you've been here a while and you had a good dinner, and we appreciate you taking time for us and spending time away from your family and talking a little high school football with us and allowing us to come into your program every year as we do. And we appreciate you and joining us here tonight.
Well, we appreciate you guys for sure. And I got to give a shout out to our community. We won our first playoff game in the history of our school this year, and our community really came out and supported us as we went out of town. They clapped us out and lined the streets, and on our way back into town, it was just awesome to see. So I just want to give a shout out to them. It meant a lot to the kids and myself.
Awesome. That's great when communities come together. You see it so much around this area as communities come together with high school sports, and whether it be softball, golf, football, basketball, whatever it is, and the communities come together. So hats off to the Newcomerstown community. That's an awesome thing.
Yeah, it was great.
Head coach Dirk Gadd joining us here from the Newcomerstown Trojans on our Caleb Bell Real Estate Team Extra Point Show and our season wrap here at the Pointe Dining in New Philadelphia. Take a break, come back, and have another coach right after this with Big Z Sports.
Let the experts at Bear Carpet One in Sugar Creek help you pick out the right window treatment for you. Bear is now carrying Alta Window Fashions. Their cost-effective, made-in-America blinds and shades come in many styles. Honeycomb, roller shades, wood, faux wood, aluminum, and vertical blinds. Even custom shutters in many fabrics and materials. Alta blinds and shades can be automated through a remote, smartphone, or even voice. Come check out Bear's Alta display. Bear Carpet One, just off Route 39 in the Salzburg Plaza in Sugar Creek.
T-County Boxing Academy on East High in New Philadelphia invites anyone serious about boxing to see what they offer and have success just like pro boxer and Urixville's own Sugar Dre Donovan. T-County Boxing Academy not only offers the area's premier training facility, but also offers the best supplements on the market for peak training to get the most out of your workouts. To see all T-County Boxing Academy has to offer, find T-County Boxing Academy-TCBA on Facebook.
Is there anything better than high school sports? Hi, this is Pat Ferris of Ferris Chevrolet Buick and Toyota. High school sports bring out the best in our schools and in our communities, and the people at Ferris have always believed in the importance of athletics and academics. Just like we believe in the great cars and trucks we sell and service every day, like high school sports, we're a great tradition in this area. Ferris, on the Wabash in New Philadelphia.
Big Brothers Big Sisters needs your help. Hi, this is Monique Duke, and we are committed to matching 82 children that have been waiting to meet their big. Do you have 4 hours a month that you could share with a little doing something you both enjoy? We match bigs and littles with similar interests, so this could be fishing, going to a ball game, going to church, or even shopping. If you would be interested in changing a child's life, please contact us at 330-339-6916 or visit us at bigsforkids.com/volunteer.
Dumont Sporting Goods in Dover and Canton has just what you're looking for, so your athletes have the best gear for the sports they love. Dumont has a large apparel selection and can handle your customized screen printing and embroidery for your team or business. For sporting goods and all your apparel, Dumont Sporting Goods in Dover and Canton has everything you want to play and look your best.
Welcome back to the Pointe Dining on 7 Mile Drive in New Philadelphia for your Caleb Bell Real Estate Team postseason wrap-up show. As you might have heard, myself and Shannon Thomas are back for our next segment.
Yeah, sometimes you get talking, you don't realize that we're supposed. I blame it on this light. Natalie stuck this light in my eyes all night. I can't see anything out there.
I'm pretty sure Casey Claxton's back there, but I can't really see anything. Oh, I got thumbs that come out of the mist, so to speak. I can't really see back there. Anyway, it is time to welcome in somebody else now to our postseason wrap-up show, and that is for the Indian Valley Braves, Colton Thomas. And Colton, thanks so much for coming here. Obviously, I think your uncle would have yelled at you if you didn't make it here. But, we already talked with Coach Lancaster after your guys' great season. I know there was a lot of battles. I know you were very, very happy with your team, especially as that senior leader you were.
Yeah, I was really happy with how the team did this season. We lost a couple tough games, a lot of close games. We dropped 3 in the regular season, but they were all the great teams, and we played hard all year. And then ending the season at St. Clairsville against Steubenville, I think we left it all out there, and I wasn't upset with how the season ended at all.
Now, I know you've obviously been in this Indian Valley team for a long time. You've been playing for a long time over these last 4 years, I'm sure. Being a senior, it's kind of hard to take all in. But tell me about that last game you guys had. Real nail-biter against an incredibly tough Steubenville team. I know you guys were a little bit upset that you didn't get the win, but there is no doubt that you guys battled the whole night.
Yeah. Yeah, we knew going into the week it was going to be the battle that it turned out to be. And we accepted the challenge all week at practice. The coaches challenged us, and we did what we could do. We started the game off hot, 13-0 run, and then we gave up a lot. And then coming out of halftime, we had a choice to make, and we decided not to back down and took it all the way to an onside kick right at the end of the game and lost by a touchdown. So.
Yeah, Shannon, you can attest too. When we did that game, as it started with Colton doing having a pick six on the sideline, it happened so fast I almost didn't know what to say. Neither did you.
Yeah, and Steubenville didn't know what to think. That game just took off so quick. They got another touchdown after that, and then kind of lost the wheels a little bit. And I kind of want to talk about the second half of the season for your defense. I mean, you pride yourself on defense the last couple of years, but your defensive effort the last half of the season by the whole team was tremendous. From everybody on the team, you and Tanya McComb just went on a roll, getting interception after interception, and Kenzie and those guys at linebacker, and Riker Williams is a freshman on the defensive line, and Jackson Bircher. I mean, that defense was just phenomenal the second half of the season, especially going into the playoffs when you had to go take on Steubenville and then Kentrell Reinhardt at Bishop Reedy.
Yeah, our defense prides ourselves in being fast and physical and just doing what we're coached to do. And the second half of the season, Quake went down in the St. Clairsville game, and we needed a lot of kids to step up, and it just sparked something in us. And we really stepped up in the second half. Me and Tanyan didn't have almost any picks going into the second half, and we both ended with 8 each. And then our linebackers played lights out, and then Riker holding the D-line together as a freshman. He played great. So.
Now, I know I asked you this when we did the Extra Point show, but I'm going to ask you it again now with your senior season officially wrapped up. Do you have a favorite memory from throughout your high school football career? I'm sure you made a few of them this year.
Yeah, and then just the playoff run again this year. It's just something special about knowing it's win or go home and having all the guys rally behind you. It's just the playoff runs are always great, and this year knowing we didn't go out with like a sour taste in our mouth was a good memory.
And one of the memories I'll have of you playing football is how happy you was when your teammates made great plays. Watching Tanya McComb go in, they threw away from you, Bishop Reedy did, and then Tanya made them pay for it. You're like, if you're going to come after me, Tanya ended up with 3 interceptions that game, and you was just as excited as if you got those interceptions.
Yeah. Our team, we have great leaders, and we're a family, and we have great teammates, and we support everything we do with each other, and we celebrate everything. That's one thing that Quake's big on, is celebrating everything, and we just try to have a lot of fun out there and play excited.
Now, we've watched you play for a long time, and something that I've even said to Shannon here is, you're a team leader out there on the field, but you're not necessarily one who gets super animated. We don't necessarily see a whole bunch of that. There were a couple times during this playoff run, though, there seemed to be a little extra edge. Was that just because, the senior year thing, trying to keep them be there with your team and stay in the playoffs?
Yeah, I think I usually just try to keep myself until I know we've won the game. But just being in the playoffs and just making those big plays, it's just a feeling you don't get twice. So I just tried to enjoy all the moments in the playoffs.
So coming into this year, you got your quarterback back, Sam Carter, who who did a nice job coming back this year after that injury. A lot of times that injury will take 9 months to a year, and Sam was able to get back in less than 8 months. That had to be nice for you to be able to go back out the wide receiver. You got to be exposed a little bit more there. Offensive line, I thought, did great this year coming together. You didn't know what it was going to be, and then you had your stud in the backfield. So, it was a nice offensive performance this year, too, by the Braves.
Yeah, our offensive line stepped up this year. That was you talked to Coach Lank about it earlier. That was our question mark going into the year. We knew we had the skills, but they really stepped up. And then Sam worked really hard this offseason to get back for us. We put in a lot of work on our own time, so it was nice just to see it all come together. And then Grady being Grady, he just does his thing. So
that's probably the new phrase they're going to have for next year, Grady being Grady. Well, I got to say, Colton, you kind of did a little bit of everything. I know Indian Valley has kind of been synonymous for having some players over the years who have somebody who kind of does a little bit of everything. And, oh, look at that. Shannon even has it all out for me. All told through, including playoffs?
Yeah, those are including playoffs.
Including playoffs, over 1,400 all-purpose yards, 429 on the ground, 725 through the air, scoring 14 touchdowns. On defense, you hit the century mark. You had 100 tackles this season, 8 interceptions, which I believe is the school record for career INTs, and longest return and longest returning pick six. That's just a mouthful to always go through. Had 3 return for touchdowns this year, one of them being 102 yards. Absolutely insane. You're a 3-time All-Ohioan now, 3-time IVC first team, and 3-time Eastern District first team as well. And, Shannon, if you could just go through the career stats as well that kind of paint that picture of how long you've been doing this for the Braves.
Yeah, he's had a great career as an Indian Valley Brave. Talking to Coach Lank earlier off the air, and he just said that Colton is one of those special athletes that come through the program and that he's happy for. His all-purpose yards for his career was over 3,200 yards with 27 touchdowns. He amassed 289 tackles, 18 interceptions, which is the career record at Indian Valley, 35 pass deflections, and also was the punter the last couple of years, getting off 69 punts with over 2,600 yards, with the longest one being a 63 yards. So Colton was on the field all the time. Up until this year, he really didn't get a break when they brought him off for the kickoff team, right, until the playoffs, and then you had to go back out on for a special team. So, it was nice to get a break for a little bit, but, you was on the field pretty much every snap this year.
Yeah, Coach expects a lot of us as seniors, and he expects a lot of me and puts a responsibility on me, and I'm willing to do that for my team. So moving around the positions isn't really a big deal with me. I'm not worried about racking up a bunch of stats in one spot, but I'll do whatever I can do for the team on that point.
Well, with all that in mind, with all the different plays, or all the different places that you play and all the different stats and everything, I'm going to go ahead and let Shannon take something away now.
So, Colton, we had a panel of 12 guys this year that voted for these awards. And Colton, you are the Big Z Sports MVP Player of the Year for 2023.
Appreciate it, guys.
We know it don't rank right up there with the 3-time All-Ohioans, but we're pretty proud of those awards in this area.
Yeah.
I was going to say, look, man, we do what we can. That's right.
That's right.
No, I appreciate it. It means a lot. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you, Colton, for all the years you put in at Indian Valley, too. It's been an absolute pleasure watching you play. So your MVP Player of the Year for Big Z Sports in 2023, Colton Thomas from the Indian Valley Braves. Stick around. We're going to have another coach, maybe another player coming up here, too, shortly. The Caleb Fell Real Estate Team postseason wrap-up show continues after this.
Dumont Sporting Goods in Dover and Canton has just what you're looking for, so your athletes have the best gear for the sports they love. Dumont has a large apparel selection and can handle your customized screen printing and embroidery for your team or business. For sporting goods and all your apparel, Dumont Sporting Goods in Dover and Canton has everything you want to play and look your best.
Cush Financial Group has been proudly serving the financial needs of local community members for over 35 years. The team at Cush Financial follows an industry-leading service model with the unique approach and fiduciary responsibilities associated with their board-certified financial planner. With over 75 years of combined experience, the advisors at Cush Financial Group are here to help you achieve your financial goals. Contact the office at 330-308-8700 or visit cushfinancial.com to schedule your free consultation today. Securities and investment advisory services offered through Independent Capital Company Incorporated, member FINRA, SIPC.
Top Notch Auto on East Plum Alley in Janaden, your one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, offering an experienced staff that can handle just what you need to keep your vehicle running at its best. Top Notch Auto specializes in diagnostics with state-of-the-art diagnostic equipment. Whether your vehicle needs routine maintenance or major repairs, Top Notch Auto can handle all your vehicle needs. They also offer a large selection of tire brands, including Goodyear, Kelly, and Cooper, just to name a few. Find Top Notch Auto LLC on Facebook or call them at 740-561-4100.
Busy schedule? Check out Benson's Heat and Eat section with a variety of entrees and sides for you to choose from. And don't forget, Monday through Friday from 4 to 6, Benson's culinary team prepares hot, made-from-scratch dinners, complete with garden salad and bread and butter. Just call ahead to order. For daily and weekly specials, visit bensonsmc.com. Follow them on Facebook or stop into the market. Benson's Market and Catering, 207 North Worcester Avenue in Dover.
The Tuscarawas County Dairy Farmers Chocolate milk is a great choice for student athletes and hard workers. It provides the nutrition needed after practices, games, or a hard day at work, and it tastes great. Low-fat chocolate milk is packed with carbohydrates for energy, proteins to repair muscles, fluids to rehydrate, plus vitamins and minerals to help build strong bones and bodies. It's the official beverage of the Ohio High School Athletic Association. Tuscarawas County Dairy Farmers. Farms, family, food.
Jeff Wallach LLC is a family-owned and operated company proudly serving greater Northeast Ohio and surrounding communities for over 25 years. We specialize in vinyl siding, replacement windows and doors, gutters, downspouts, and much more. We provide quality service regardless of the size or scope of the project. Our crews are reliable, respectful, and mindful of a safe work environment. Jeff Wallach LLC is certified by the Better Business Bureau. Call today and discover how we can assist you in making your vision a reality.
Welcome back to the Caleb Fell Real Estate Wrap-Up Show. Chris Kale, Joe Geckler here with the Big Z Sports team and all of our coaches and everything else, kind of dwindling things down, saving some of the best for last.
Sure, you have to do that.
You have to do that, and definitely one of the best in our area.
One of the best interviews.
Head coach Brian Gamble.
I can't wait till the end. You know what I want at the end.
You know what we're getting.
Yeah.
You'll get it.
All right, there we go.
We always get it every time, and it's funny
kind of
because
like Kirby Smart. Go Dogs.
Everybody expects it now. You know what I mean? Even though he's wrapping up his 7th year now at the helm of the Sandy Valley Cardinals.
We should go back
we
get all the interviews we've ever done with him, because they're all archived, and get him, just cut them all. Go Cards.
But welcoming in head coach Brian Gamble of the Sandy Valley Cardinals. Also welcoming in one of our Defensive Player of the Year candidates, Chapin Greer from the Sandy Valley Cardinals. And guys, incredible 6-5 season that you guys finished up. I know there's only one team that can finish everything up with a win at the end of the year, but you guys had a good run. You ran into to Perry in the second round, but you did get the playoff win. And, man, you guys really had a good year. Just talk to us about wrapping up your season, how you think that things went.
I think we finished 7-5.
Was it 7?
Yeah.
It was 7-5.
I put 6.
Yeah.
My
That's
bad.
all right. Hey,
I'd take one away from you.
I just know
him, Coach.
how hard it is to earn a win, so I know 7, baby.
So listen,
give me that 7.
My bad, Coach.
It's all right.
You're no longer
you guys looking, and I'm like,
I was like, what are you talking about?
What did I do? Hey, everybody makes mistakes, brother.
We're moving on. We're good. No. What was your question again? I'm sorry.
You guys had a great season, 7-5.
Yes.
You got the playoff win before you ran into Perry.
The state champs.
Right. We know what happened to them. But just, talk to me about your season and how you think things wrapped up.
Well, I tell you what, it starts in the off season for us. It always does. Right now, during this time, when we get a clean slate. We go in December and go hit the weights and all that stuff, and build it all the way through. And for us, and going through June and July, everything that we do, all of our build-ups to everything that we do. We were just very, very synced, very, very senior-led. I think that's huge for us. 12 seniors, great leadership out of them, and those guys really took the helm and took the program, make it their own. And it's always starting off. We have a battle week one. That's we know they're going into it with Coach Sarbaugh and the Fairless Falcons, and going into there and getting out of there, getting a win. Have to deal with some rain delays and other things like that.
It was the longest day of
Is
my
that what
life.
you called that? A rain delay?
A couple rain delays.
Yeah,
A few
it was a
rain delays.
hurricane delay.
Brutal.
Exactly, but my other teams, even 2 years ago teams, I don't know if we would be able to handle that, and come out ready to roll again. But these guys are ready to go. Their feet are up.
Right.
They're not running around. They're not doing it. Their feet are up, or they are looking at an iPad. They're ready to roll. And that's the difference, and for us, just our overall, every single game was business-like. Every single game was ready to roll, and I think that's a big deal for us. Getting that first win, getting that first dub, get the mojo going, and then went off to the races with a good early start. That's huge for us.
Coach, you started out the first half of the season 4-1. You lost to Canton South, but you gave them a game.
Yep.
They went all the way to state semifinals and gave them a game. How did that prepare you for that gauntlet of the IVC South?
Oh, that's exactly it. That's why we scheduled what we scheduled. We know going against Poochie, going against Canton South, going Final Four team. 3 of our 5 losses were the Final Four teams. One was a state championship team. And again, it's crazy. But going against Poochie, going against that South team, they're a really good team. But we were neck and neck with them last year, going in with Drew Graybo as a freshman quarterback, at their place. You know what I mean? So we matched up well. We felt comfortable going against them, and obviously Poochie's a good player. Nick put on a pretty good show himself. So he had over 500 yards of offense.
Yep.
So he had a lot going on there too, and so did this guy beside me as well. He got Poochie down a couple times as well.
Oh, yeah.
And it was.
He got everybody down
he
a couple
did.
times.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Yeah.
geez, on beats. I mean,
I don't
really?
think there's probably not a quarterback on this schedule that he didn't sack, right, Coach?
I don't know.
Listen,
Did you get a sack at Fairless?
Get 'em all.
You get them
He got 'em all.
So the
Got 'em all. Every one
graveyard,
of
the
'em.
Greer graveyard.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's your new Halloween back. Like Miles Garrett.
I like it.
Listen,
graveyard.
I mean, I like that. But listen, we're talking top, what was it, 7 in the nation?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
In the, not in T County.
No.
Not in Ohio.
No.
Not even in the eastern part of the country. We're talking about the nation.
Nation.
Top
tied.
7.
Yep. Tied in nation.
That is incredible.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
So, Chapin, talk to us about your season and how you feel that obviously it's a team sport. You had a pretty daggone good season individually, but talk about your team and what you're going to miss the most about them.
I think we had a really good season. We got really good players, They're very committed to what they do. So I think that's what really put us together and held us together, pushed us through.
Talk to me about, this guy to your left and what it means to play for a coach that is such a player's coach.
Yeah, he's really great. We're really close with him, and I feel like that helped us a lot.
So at the next level, what are you looking to do? Where are you going to play? What are you going to play? What are you doing?
I have a couple interests, but I really don't know yet.
Okay.
Maybe Walsh, maybe Marietta. I have no clue yet.
I know there's a guy that's going to Walsh that would probably like to room with you.
Nick, yeah.
Yeah? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I might have to if I go.
That'd be pretty dangerous.
Yeah.
Chapin and Nick as roommates?
Yeah, that would be. I wouldn't want to be. I wouldn't want to be there in the off season on a Friday or Saturday night.
Maybe you would. Maybe you'd want to be there.
Maybe we'd want to be there. Exactly.
We couldn't hang with those guys though.
No way, dude. We're way too old for that. I blew a calf out the other day.
Just walking up your stairs. Right?
No,
Oh,
I
okay.
was doing something that I shouldn't have. I tried to play basketball for the
Oh,
first time in
geez.
10 years, and it was not very
Coach,
good.
let's talk about that second half of the year in the IVC South. Lost to Indian Valley, you lost to Ridgewood. You go to Garaway, you go to the Hill, and you give them a game. And honestly, people around the area probably thought, okay, another blowout. Here we go. Sandy's not going to compete because they got blown out by Indian Valley. They got beat pretty good by Ridgewood.
You didn't listen to our pregame.
And then you go to the Hill, tough place to play. And you almost get out of there with the win. You lose 14-10. Talk about that game and what you learned about your team.
I thought we were just throughout the whole game, we felt comfortable. You know, they run the spread, we run the spread. We go against the spread so much. You know, we match up. You know, we feel very comfortable with that. And you know, we had to just, you know, if we could slow the game down a little bit. You know, and just make them feel uncomfortable. That's the biggest thing that we took away with them. And when going against Poochie too.
Yeah.
You know, nobody blitzed Poochie. You know, nobody went after their quarterback.
Sure.
You know, and we did. You know, we went, and, you know, those teams that try to take the blueprint from that, you know, and I think that's a big thing for us, is just, you know, stay aggressive at them. You know, most teams back off and just try to, like, you know, and we did not. We went at them. We were aggressive with them, and I think that's something that, you know, I don't know. It was a great game plan for, you know, Coach Thomas, and you know, Ben Thomas did a great job, and those guys just, like I said, on that side of the ball really kept us in the game.
Well, Coach, I understand 100% what Joe's saying, right? Mm-hmm. But on our pregame show, several weeks, we would say, hey, look, I think Sandy Valley, I told you early on, I'm probably going to be the most hated man in Sandyville because I predicted you guys to run the table and go undefeated this year.
Really?
Absolutely,
wow.
I did. So that was one of those things where when you lost your first game, I'm like, oh, man, he's going to kill me if he knows this.
No, I had no idea.
Yeah,
so,
well, I'm glad you.
Yeah,
I'm glad I just told you.
I try to stay in the dark as much as I can for those reasons. You know what I mean?
But I honestly, I mean, I agree with you, though. I just think that it's about that your kids compete.
Yeah.
In with Nick running that quarterback position, you had Chad Davis, who's an absolute bowling ball.
Yes.
I mean, he would just run people over. You had this guy on the defensive side of the football. I just liked where you guys were at, and especially after that close win at Fairless, I'm just like, man, I think this is the year that you guys just say, hey, this is our IVC.
Yep.
It didn't work out that way, but you still left your mark, and your kids left a mark on this season.
Yeah, I agree. And, you know, even going back a little bit, you know, with the IV game, you know, they like I said, we didn't come out ready to play at all, you know, 1,000%. And that was a tough game for us, a tough, humble pie for us, so to speak. You know, but then go to Ridgewood, at Ridgewood. You know, that's probably the most frustrating game of every game on our season. You know, for our season, for us, you know, I thought, you know, we felt like, you know, our matchup was really good. You know, it's tough to win down there. It is. Oh. It's really hard to win down there. But you know, I mean, honestly, that's the one game though that I'm still. It's less, you know, he'll joke around and say, you know, but you know, he says, you know, that, you know, 8 out of 10 times you guys probably beat us, but just that night was his night, you know, and it was.
Well,
one
he's
of them
up there
times.
getting secrets about you right now.
Hey, we made sure that we did this on a night that he couldn't be here, so you didn't have to get heckled.
I appreciate that
because we would all got heckled. You know,
he's coaching girls basketball right now, baby.
Hey, he always comes in and his teams are terrible, and then he ends up in the playoffs. And you know how it is.
Oh, I know how it is.
So, Chapin, I want to ask you. You know, this group of seniors that came in and played, you know, 4 years under Coach Gamble and his staff. Just talk to me about each and every one of these seniors and how. What do you think your mark you guys left as a class on this program?
I think it was a really good class. I think, you know, we did good overall. You know, they're all very competitive and just always down to win.
Do you think it's so? Is that it? Like competitive? Is that kind of the word? Hard nosed.
Yeah. Stubborn. Yeah.
Work ethic. Stubborn.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that. So that's kind of the legacy that this class will leave.
Yeah, definitely.
Leave behind.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, talk about even Chape here. You know, he's pretty humble, but he's a kid that he had perfect attendance in the weight room. I mean, he just did not miss. He just put the time and the work into it. So he didn't just show up and just, you know, go play football.
Right.
No, yeah, he put the work in. He put that time in, and a lot of that senior class was led by that. We had that conversation just over here on the table. You know, they're picking up underclassmen. They're doing the guys that can't drive. They're trying to rally everybody in the weight room. They're doing it all, behind the scenes.
But that's how. So we were sitting over there. I was talking with Coach Gadden. You and I have talked. Yeah. Why do you think Kirtland has been in six straight championship games?
I know all
about
that, man.
Because when they're done on Monday, they're back in the weight room.
Monday was
right?
the next day. It was
that's
Saturday morning.
Church of Iron.
That's what it is. Yeah. And to have that mentality out of him, and then to go and pick up those underclassmen, that's your legacy, young man. Is you showed everybody how to be a leader. that was underneath you, now when those kids are juniors and seniors, they'll be going down and doing the same thing because they learned it from you. That's what football is all about because it teaches lifelong lessons. We've been saying it since day one, Joe.
Sure. And with that, we're going to hand out another award.
Are we?
Yep, we are going to do another award.
And
yep.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Let's make sure it's the right one.
It's the right one? All right. Well, Chapin obviously being one of the leaders at your school and in the nation with sacks and being that defensive player this year for your team and to help guide them, you are our 2023 Big Z Sports Defensive Player of the Year.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
And listen to this real quick, guys. Sit down at home if you're standing. 52 tackles, 20 for a loss. Led the area. It was 16 and a half sacks. Again, these are regular season numbers. Top 7 in the nation, in the country in sacks. He had 5 quarterback hurries, 2 forced fumbles, 4 passes defensed. He was named Division 5 East District Co-Defensive Player of the Year, first team, and, of course, All-Ohioan as well. Just incredible numbers and very deserving of this award.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Coach, what are you going to miss about him most?
Just again, his presence in the locker room, his presence in the weight room, and just his overall how he carries himself, how he conducts himself, how he goes to work, and everything he does that way. I hope that our underclassmen really were a sponge for his work ethic, and to see how hard work pays off, how hard work can earn some iron for you at the end possibly, and other things and potential scholarships and things like that. So those are the things I'm going to work. It's just he's a guy that puts his head down and he works in the dark. And a lot of those guys in that class did, and that's what's so special about that class.
And you can tell that by his demeanor just sitting here, right? What are you going to miss the most about high school football? I know there's 1,000 things, right? I know that's a hard question to ask you, but in the end, is it teammates?
Yeah, honestly,
those relationships you build in the locker room and on Saturdays and on Monday afternoon practices.
Yeah, it's something different. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Chapin, congratulations, man! Yes. Defensive Player of the Year. I got to see a couple of your games, man. Quite impressive, and
I got to see plenty of highlights.
Yeah, oh yeah. So congratulations, and wherever you decide to go get them, man.
Thank you.
That's Chapin Greer, our 2023 Big Z Sports Defensive Player of the Year, and head coach Brian Gamble from the Sandy Valley Cardinals. Going to take a break, come back, and we'll have one more coach, one more player, some more hardware to hand out. That's after this with Big Z Sports.
Take a second to step outside of your daily life and breathe. Muskingum Watershed Conservancy District brings that perfect break from a busy life and great destinations for relaxing, camping, fishing, hiking, family-friendly activities, and so much more. Atwood and Tappan Lakes also have new campsites with full hookup connections and full-service marinas. Reserve your adventure now at mwcd.org. The Muskingum Watershed Conservancy District would also like to congratulate all of the area athletes on a great season.
All the talks we've had over the years, including what you've told me about not using alcohol and other drugs, they stick with me. And believe it or not, they really do make a difference, especially at times that matter most.
Hey, want a drink?
No thanks, I'm good. So thank you, Dad, for talking and preparing me for what's ahead.
Thank you for talking.
For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov
or go to empowertusk.com.
Hi, this is Jan McInturf. The past 30 years, the residents in and around the Tuscarawas County have made the call to the realtors and staff of McInturf Realty for buying and selling of residential and commercial properties. We truly live in a great community, and in all of those communities, there is nothing better than high school sports. For myself and all the agents and staff at McInturf Realty, we would like to wish all the area athletes good luck this season. And make the call to McInturf Realty, 330-364-SOLD, or find us online at McInturfRealty.net.
People are always asking, what is Cartoons? I hear that name on the radio all the time. Cartoons is a radio shop in New Philadelphia that specializes in tuning up your stereo system on anything you drive or ride. We tune up car tunes, truck tunes, boat tunes, motorcycle tunes, RV tunes, new and used vehicle tunes. We carry the best brands from Kenwood, Sony, Alpine, Pioneer, just to name a few. Cartoons also carries a full line of lighting accessories, backup camera systems, remote starts, or just need it installed? Give us a call. Cartoons on West High Avenue in New Philly. Be there.
PAC Drilling, a family-owned and operated company since 2005 in Bolivar, takes pride in being an economic oil and gas drilling company. PAC's objective is to contribute to American energy independence through profitable development, operation, and marketing of oil and natural gas wells. PAC also employs operating technicians to oversee each and every well drilled to maximize its productivity and longevity. Contact PAC Drilling at pacdrilling.com.
Welcome back to the Caleb Fell Real Estate Big Z Sports Wrap-Up Show, live from the Pointe Dining in New Philadelphia. Joe Geckler, Travis McClellan. Hey, I haven't been in a booth or on a headset with you in like a couple of weeks.
I know,
this is kind
I
of weird.
you.
I miss you.
Yeah.
You know, what happened to the beard, though? I mean,
well, I for Sunday church, I shaved it up,
geez.
and then I had a little mishap, so I had to clean it up again the other day. So.
All right. Well, we're joined by our final coach and player tonight here as we welcome in head coach Jason Wallach of the Garraway Pirates and Gio Colon, the sensational kicker for the Pirates. And, Coach, first of all, man, congratulations on a great historic run to the state semifinals this year. And obviously didn't end the way you wanted it to, but overall a spectacular season for you guys.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun and a lot to be proud of. Kids got a lot to be proud of. You know, a lot of you guys, and not putting you guys on the spot, but a lot of you guys thought, you know, we'd be maybe third in the league, and
sure,
you know, we turn around and able to play well during the regular season. The kids got better each week.
We were just going by what the head coach said.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
Coach said
I said 5 and 5.
You did. That's what we were going off of.
Yeah,
you know, we were going off of you.
Yeah.
You know the program better than anybody, right?
Yeah.
Well, Coach, you started out with the big win against Bel Air. You got to win. Win all across the regular season for what, the third year in a row, right?
Yes,
Regular
sir.
season, yeah. So, but you know, that regular season schedule really prepared you for your playoff run all the way to the state semifinals. And just talk about that team that you had, the offense, the defense again stepped up. I mean, just incredible what your defense does year in and year out, game after game.
Well, and defensively, you know, we were just talking off the air. You know, we lost 7 starters off of last year's team, and you know, so we only had 4 returning starters coming back, and you know, we didn't know what the expectations were. I mean, our kids know our expectation, and Coach West's expectation of a shutout every week, and you know, he goes crazy if they don't get that shutout.
Yes, he
does.
does.
It doesn't matter who's in that game; they know the expectation. But no, you know, so we had to get some guys to plug in and play there, and you know, I'm telling you, our off season was fantastic. I said it all along. You know, those guys worked their tails off all off season long. I mean, our weight room was full every day, every morning. And, you know, it paid off in the end. You know, we had guys who you probably would have never thought those guys were going to play the year before and, you know, developed in the offseason and became major contributors. So, yeah, it's fun to watch those guys fly around defensively. And offensively, you know, we were pretty solid again. And, you know, just, you know, Brady, Dylan, Jensen, I mean, you can go right across the board with all of our receivers, but you know, we can throw the ball, we can run the ball. You got a all-Ohio receiver, all-Ohio quarterback, all-Ohio running back. You know, it's you know, hard to defend. So we've been pretty balanced, you know, the last couple of years that way as well. So.
Yeah, Coach, when you're talking about, you know, all 4 levels of your game, wide receiver, line, quarterback, running back, when you're saying, hey, they're great players, you're going to be really good offensively. But something we talked about a couple times on the air is you use the term getting over the hump. I use the term winning on the backs of the guys that came before you and learning to win. And you guys did something really special. Second team in Tuscarawas County history to do this. You got to the state finals. These guys learned from your years past, 3 years in a row undefeated and you deep into the playoffs. But talk about this team and what pushed them over the hump and got to uncharted waters.
Well, I just think it all started last January in that weight room, and the experience is priceless. Like you said, Travis, we made it to the regional semifinals 4 consecutive years. This senior class kind of lived in the shadows of obviously the class of 23, and I think they had something to prove, and they worked their tails off, and it's I guess my answer to that is their work ethic in the off season got us over the hump. It really did. I mean, and that's no disrespect to any of our other classes.
Sure not. No.
They saw what our other classes did and where it got them.
And that's what I mean by building on the backs of the guys that came before you. But we talked one time pregame, and you were talking about the preparation of this team and the film study, and talk about how important that was for these guys because they were so great pre-game, pre-season, pre-week in the film room and studying and being on their X's and O's.
Yeah, I really think this team really understood how to watch film, which was a huge key for us. We probably went, I don't know, the last 5, 6, 7 games and made very few defensive calls just because our guys understood what our expectation was, where they were supposed to be lined up, what we wanted to do to what formation and what personnel groupings, and but those guys have to study that scouting report. They got to study the film, and Wyatt and Ethan did a tremendous job, and all of our guys did. But those two are our leaders on defense. Obviously, they're our 2 middle backers, or our quarterbacks of our defense.
Sure.
Jensen gets us lined up. Wyatt and Ethan understand what we want. So they understood exactly what we wanted to do, and the kids still got to go out and perform.
Sure.
And listen, we're not there without the kids. I mean, we get all these accolades in the postseason and all that, which is great, but we got to have the kids, and you got to have a staff that, and I'm sure we'll get to that, but you got to have a staff that is willing to spend the time, the energy during the season to get us over that hump.
Sure,
as
for
well.
sure.
So.
Coach, you mentioned Jensen Garber offensively. He shattered single-season records of receiving this year for you. And, last year he kind of was behind the Twins a little bit, and he stepped up. He's one of those guys that stepped up and played his butt off all year. He had 70 catches, 1,400 yards, 17, 18, 19 touchdowns on the season, and just shattered the single-season records for receiving. How big of a help was he to a brand-new quarterback to your system to be in the right place at the right time?
It's huge, and probably the most interesting stat that's not on that sheet is he's a 4.0 number 1 kid in the class.
Jeez.
So it really shows on the field
Sure.
as well. He's a very smart football player that's able to help the offense and the defense because he doesn't play tackle, but we could probably go put him at tackle just because he understands what we want to do. And he could. I don't know if he'd block anybody.
And that's invaluable having a coach on the field.
It is.
Yeah.
And it was that way defensively too. But we were talking after the season as a staff, getting ready to turn equipment in, and we're like, hey, list your top 5. One of them said, okay, list your top 5 receivers since we went to the spread in 2008. We couldn't do it just because there's so many different kids who have different skills that make them better than somebody else. But Jensen's one of those guys that would definitely be one of those top 5 guys because of his intelligence, because of his quickness, and he blocks. I mean,
I've never seen him block anybody.
I know, it's kind of the running joke.
He says he wants to block a linebacker, but I've never seen him do it.
I don't know if he's ever blocked a linebacker, which obviously is a running joke because Wyatt and Bronson are not going to let him live that down, that he had to go block corners all year long where those guys are always blocking linebackers or defensive ends. So, yeah. So
we're going to bring in Gio. Gio, man, he is a sensational kicker out there on the hill, and he did some special things for you guys this year. And I believe he started kicking last year, his sophomore year. Is that right?
Yeah, I think he came out about week 3, I think. I know his freshman year he wanted to play. Things didn't work out with his busy work schedule. And then, we talked in the offseason after his freshman year he was going to come out, and we were all excited because we were going to get, a real kicker.
Yeah, sure.
And then, that wasn't able to make it again because of work schedule. And I think about week 3 last year, he could probably tell you. And
I think it was JT that may have convinced him. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah, JT convinced you to come out and kick, right? And we saw some when I was out at practice and stuff, and you guys saw some things in practice, and then he has a pretty big leg on that right hip, right?
He does. He does, yeah. He's a lot of fun to watch. A lot of pop in that ball.
Yep, Gio, talk to us about your preparation each game. I talk to you sometimes in the pregame. How you feeling? How you doing? And you always tell me you're nervous, you know. But you go out there, and I watch you in the pregame, and you're hitting 55-yarders. You're hitting 56-yarders with no problem. What do you do, What go through your mental reps when you go out there and start practicing? What are you doing to get yourself ready for a game?
So the only thing what I do is just practice hard and improve more.
Good.
So Gio, you set the record, a 48-yarder there, and that's a tremendous kick. But we watched you warm up in the pregame. We saw him hit 57 down at Heath in the pregame. And so coming forward, you're only a junior, so you get another year out there on the hill. What's your goal this year as a kicker? What's your goal for this coming season?
Oh, my goal for the next year is kick 60 yards.
60?
60,
yeah.
okay.
Boy, I think you got it in you.
Yeah, definitely.
We got to get Coach Wallach to call it.
Well, it's not me. Well, yeah. So I'm not going to go there. No, and one of the things about Gio is he takes a lot of pride in his kicking. I forget what game it was, but we missed one. We had a high snap. Actually, I think it was
a playoff game.
The playoff game.
Yeah.
We have a high snap. Ethan went down, so he was our short snapper. We put a sub in, get a high snap, throws the timing off a little bit, still booms it. I think that was a 45 or 47,
goes
whatever
wide
it was.
left a little bit. Yep.
Just wide left, and I'm all right with that. I mean, obviously it wasn't a close game, fortunately. And then I turn around a couple minutes later, and he's over on the bench sitting there, and just all distraught and like, Gio, man, it wasn't your fault, But he takes a lot of things personal and has really enjoyed it and being a part of the team.
So what's your favorite part of being around Coach Wallach and the guys up on the hill during practice?
When we do spring, we practice so hard. So.
Yeah.
Gio, we talked off the air a little bit over at the table. You said you like spicy food. What's the name of that hot sauce that you like there?
El Diablo.
El Diablo. I don't think I could eat anything by the name El Diablo. So
wow.
Credit to Gio.
Yeah. So hot sauce is your thing. You put. I saw you ordered a steak, right? And what'd you put on it?
I don't remember the sauce, but
Tabasco sauce. All right.
Yeah, credit him. I can't do that. So
yeah. The hot sauce tears me up. And but what's your favorite thing going out? Would you rather kick off like you do and knock it into the end zone, or hit a 48, 50-yard field goal?
Oh, it's better kickoff. So
yeah?
I enjoy to push people during the kickoff. So.
Yeah, he likes to hit.
I haven't seen him hit anybody yet. He's going to hit somebody next
year. We won't bring up the Ridgewood game where he hit somebody a little bit late, but still learning the game there a little bit.
Oh, sure.
Well, that leads into my next question, Gio. If you could play one other position on the field, what would you play?
Oh, D-line.
D-lineman? Okay.
D-line. You'd be a linebacker or a D-line?
I think that has something to do with Coach Yasick, probably.
Coach Yasick? No way. He's in his ear already? Yeah? All right. Well, we got some awards to handle out. I think they're behind you there. And nope, they're on the wall there right behind you.
All right.
And we are, I think, see which one this one is. Nope, the other one. I need the other one.
All right.
Yep. All right. So we give out awards every year, and we started doing Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Coach of the Year. That's been around for a while, Most Valuable Player. And we added something last year called Specialist of the Year, which punters, kickers, kick returners, punt returners. And you, Gio, are our 2023 Specialist of the Year. And congratulations, man, on a great season. We appreciate it. And you had a great year. That 48-yarder is the longest we've seen in a long time, right, guys? It wasn't, was it Wagner that hit one maybe that far? Sandy Valley probably 8-9 years ago? Yeah, so, but Gio is our Special Teams Player of the Year this year. Congratulations, bud.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
And one more to hand out, and this is a first. This is honestly a first for us, and he won his first one last year. And head coach Jason Wallach is our two-time now defending Coach of the Year. Coach, congratulations.
Appreciate it, and again,
I know it's not as big as Coach of the Year in the state of Ohio, but you know.
Well, and again, it's the Staff of the Year, and I'll make sure that those guys get rewarded as well. We do. We appreciate everything you guys do for us. But again, I couldn't do it without our staff, and those guys do a tremendous job. We couldn't do it without our families that allow us to do it. So, and we definitely can't do it without the kids. So, I do. We greatly appreciate it, and it means a lot, especially all the things you guys do for our kids in the area. And yeah, appreciate it. Thanks.
Yeah, Coach. We talked off air. Something special with your staff and the closeness, and you really truly are good friends off staff. When talent meets that, it does something special, and you guys got it going on out there on the hill.
Yeah, again, I am blessed, and I'm not going to go through them all because I'll miss one of them again, like I always do. And but we are, Travis. I don't think people realize how tight knit of a staff that we have.
Sure. And that's rare.
And you know what? We have to agree to disagree. As Kevin Keffer told me that 23 years ago, you got to agree to disagree, but. And we do, and we can sit behind those closed doors and have our disagreements, but that door opens. We're all on the same page. It's what makes us successful.
That's it.
Absolutely. Again, Coach Jason Wallach, our Coach of the Year for 2023 for the Garaway Pirates. Gio Colon is our Specialist of the Year as well for the Garaway Pirates. And, folks, that's going to do it. It's going to wrap up our season wrap-up show here from the Pointe Dining. Big thanks to everybody, Claxon Communications, Casey and Natalie. They do all the tireless work to make us look good, sound good. We appreciate them. And all the staff here at the Pointe, we appreciate them allowing us to come out every year and run their waitresses crazy and eat some good food and take care of us. And all year, our sponsors, we couldn't do it without you guys. Like Coach says, I'm not going to name everybody. I'll forget. We have like 7,000, so I will forget somebody and I will feel terrible. But all of our sponsors, thank you so much. Everybody on the Big Z Sports team, this was going to be a challenging year for me, and you guys helped me out a ton to get through this year, and I appreciate it. And, we'll be heading on to basketball here in a couple days, and I'll take a back seat and sit on the sidelines and let Chris and Nick take over on play-by-play stuff. And we appreciate everybody, even back at the station when we do things, and all the sponsors, the teams, the coaches, the players.
Coaches, yeah.
Oh man, I mean, we couldn't do what we do without their access to their programs and being willing to talk to us and allow us out around their programs and their kids. So thanks so much to all of them, and again, all the ADs as well. Adam, our sports director, big thanks for allowing us to do what we do and what we love to do. So one final time from the Pointe Dining here in New Philadelphia. That's going to wrap up our 2023 season. Congratulations to all of our area teams on a great season, and we look forward to seeing you in basketball. So long, everybody.
Thanks for listening to Big Z Sports, presented by the Caleb Fell Real Estate Team. Big Z Sports returns Friday with the Big Z Sports Show. Follow Big Z Sports on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter at @Big_Z Sports. And subscribe for free to the Big Z Sports YouTube channel. Thank you for listening to Big Z Sports.